podcast where three bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with a Kate. I'm joined by my regular co-hosts, Mr.
Ben Errington.
Hey Ben, and
All
Mr.
right.
Andy Conduit. Hello, guys.
Hey Andy.
All right.
How's it
Hello.
going?
Oh, very well, thank you. Oh, what a nice greeting. How are you?
Chipper.
Tip-top.
He's good.
Tip-top.
He's feeling good. Chipper
Tip-top.
or maybe a little bit drunk. I can't tell.
No, I'm not drunk.
No, of course not. High on life.
Well, no.
Just glad to be
smiling through the
recording.
pain.
Just glad to be recording a podcast about some horror movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Something
So-
to look forward to, eh?
What's
Yeah, you
going
gotta
on?
have something.
What's happening?
What is going on? Well, we're like October's flying by, right?
I know. Too fast.
No.
I think this is one of the years where like I've properly been enjoying October. I've been doing all of the Halloween themed things. I've been watching all the Halloween movies.
You went to
it's
the
not-
pumpkin patch, I saw.
I saw you at the pumpkin patch, eh?
We were
Did
there
get to
hiding behind the big
pumpkin
pumpkins.
patch. I tried to pick one, but it was Luke's head. I said, "Fuck it, I'll give it." I had to stand and like, oh no, it's Luke's head. That was the first time. I've never been to a pumpkin patch before. Yeah, I recommend it. It's
Loads of them now.
good.
Yeah. They never used to have them in
Oh
England.
yeah,
Now you can't.
no, I know. It was definitely an American thing, but you can't what swing a cat for
For hitting a pumpkin patch.
for hitting a pumpkin patch. They've like combined loads of different sort of Halloween themed things. There's like rides. What more do you want when you're at a pumpkin patch? I want
Yeah.
to go on a waltzer and a
There's
a
a
bumper
waltzers at your pumpkin patch.
yeah, insane.
I remember
I mean, it'd
when
be
was
great to
growing
drive
up-
a bumper car through the pumpkin patch,
Oh,
but
that
there's
would
probably
be
no
splendid.
no
Yeah.
metal grid above it.
I remember once being on the M1 and seeing like a lone Dodge car, Dodgem, on the side of the
Oh.
road on the hard shoulder. So you got pretty far.
I'm free. I'm free. Dang it.
When we
Yeah.
were growing up, I remember Halloween, like we had bin bags on. That was
Yeah.
Halloween. And like
Mm.
it's just changed so much. My dad didn't even believe in it. He said like it doesn't exist. It's an American thing. Then we went out with
That was
bin
my
bags when
mom's
he wasn't
excuse as
looking.
well. That is
Yeah.
my mom's excuse. Like my mom will tell you, my mom loves an event to she can do decorations and stuff. Loves it, bless her. But definitely growing up, my mom was no, we don't celebrate Halloween in this house because it's an American thing.
Because
Yeah.
it's evil.
It's an American. Didn't even care about it that it's about ghosts and Satan. It was about no, it's an American thing. And then no, she never threw out that, and it's a form of begging. Well, it's not really. It's just things can just be fun if you like.
Yeah.
But now she's doing a classic history rewrite. No, I
mean-
always liked Halloween.
When else can you
Yeah.
go and knock on a stranger's door and just ask them for something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and back in the day, the sweets were different. I remember, like you get some guy who'd made his own bonfire toffee, and it's just like wrapped
Yeah.
in
Oh yeah.
incredibly thick and strong, and be wrapped in like I don't know,
Dodgy.
plastic,
Can I-
plastic,
Can I have
Toffee
anything in
thing.
there?
plastic
Can I
bags
have
or
anything
something.
in
Yeah,
there? Pissed
there's
in
a
it.
coin in there.
I remember some people used to give fruit, didn't they? Which you like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Two
Um,
penny
There
coins,
Two
pennies
pence
and one
coins,
penny
yeah.
coins, yeah.
Two pennies and 1 penny coins. Like they're so heavy that like it just weigh down your like goodie
Also,
bag.
What? Why? I mean, now I've got loads of like 2Ps and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with them. I guess if kids came round,
Now, if kids come, give them to them. Yeah.
now they
dunno,
show you their
in a-
PayPal address to give you a QR
Yeah,
code.
yeah,
and you go-
yeah. Well, because maybe
They just got contactless up on their phone. Trick or treat.
those machines at the supermarket where you put all the twos and ones in and it counts it out and then it gives you a little slip.
Yeah.
And it goes off. Yeah. That
You,
they didn't
says,
exist.
you have wasted your time.
You have wasted your life. 19p.
Yeah,
Get out.
that's 3 pence.
Growing up, you
Three
think
pence.
I've got loads in these bags. I'm gonna cash them in at some point. It comes to absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And you just like walk down to the supermarket just with this massive heavy bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, already over halfway through October. But yeah, it's been a fun time. And obviously we watched a movie for this week,
Yeah.
which is very of the season, of course. It will
Yeah.
be. But before that, horror news. Got some
Yeah,
bits
do
and
it, man.
bobbies. I guess keeping in discussing the movie we're going to discuss today, I will say that Halloween Kills has done really well at the box office.
Yes.
Apparently it's made $78 million this weekend. I'm assuming that's just US. I don't know. The fact that it's obviously a pandemic still is happening. We're not in the midst of it, but we're still in it. Unsure box office, but it was also released on Peacock as well in the US. So the fact it's been released on demand and in cinemas doesn't seem to have had a massive effect. I don't know how that would compare, for example, to Halloween's opening in 2018. I haven't got the numbers up here to compare that, but
the cinema for me didn't seem like a lockdown cinema. Like, it was absolutely rammed.
No spare seats at all.
Well, sorry, I mean rammed in the sense. I think they were still spacing people out 1 or 2 seats, but it might compared to like the last 2 years, it was chocker.
I want to know what the rules are now, because somebody definitely sat next to us in a recent screening. So
I think the rules are roughly now do what you want, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We're going to rely on everyone to use their common sense. That always. Oh no!
Friend of mine, the country almost melted down when we ran out of chicken that time. Like, yeah. But
get me started on that. What about petrol? None of that. There's a man in my cinema screen eating chicken, guzzling petrol. Oh, this guy don't give a shit.
He's got it all.
He's got it all, man.
I guess that's it. I mean, there'd have to be something going on for someone sit next to you in the cinema anyway. My question is always, since allocated seating came in almost every cinema in the country, it was like, well, where do you want to sit? I always look them dead in the eye and say, as far away from other people as possible. Don't give a shit where in the screen it is. And if I see another person,
where's that? point on the screen where you
yeah. Give me a number, please.
They do that at Odeon, and they say point. They turn the screen around and say, where do you want to sit? And every single time I poke the screen because it looks like a touch screen. It's not a touch screen. Yeah, they get me every time.
Oh, all right, Granddad. You don't.
We got another one over here. Wanker.
Yeah. And then I sometimes like one of the times we were there, and we said, "Oh, like obviously it's quite spaced out in there. Did any of the people look particularly annoying, so I can avoid sitting near them?" And the guy looked at me like, fucking, that's no, I was joking. I'm not seriously asking you that question.
The annoying scale down to a T.
So next to you, mate, the worst. No.
Also, regarding it doing well, it is an 18 rated movie, so it is an R rated movie. That's also really good. The fact that it's making a lot of money, because obviously the little kiddie winkles can't go, the pre-teens can't go. Somebody went to ID me, but then I think they just saw the crow's
horror
feet
in your eyes.
Just the world's weariness.
I know, because they went, "Oh, can I just see your..." Actually, don't worry. That was literally it.
Might have been propositioning you, Ben. Can I just see your dick? And as they almost did, they're like, "No, not appropriate. Not at work. Don't say it."
And I'd be like, "I can't even see it, mate." Cinema banter.
You know, there's loads of people at cinema. I was like dead proud, in a sense, because I was like, "Yeah, we've got loads of people here. This is going to be absolutely kick-ass. These people, it's going to blow them away. This is going to reinvigorate the cinema." And then I watched the film and was like, maybe not.
Yeah, I should have stayed at home.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, we will get into it, but good that it's made money. But I wonder what it will mean in terms of the money and the critical response. What it will mean for Halloween Ends, which I guess is that going to be next year?
It's meant to be next year. Is it done?
I think I got the answers. I'm moving on to a next piece of horror news. What a great segue. So David Gordon Green says that the Halloween Ends script is complete and he's awaiting John Carpenter's notes. John Carpenter's got the Google Doc open and you can see his little...
How scary would that be? Anonymous has signed in and you know it's John Carpenter. And you see his cursor moving over you see him go through a comment and then he like cancels it out. And
he's deleted
John Carpenter is typing. What? What's he going to type?
Delete. He's deleted the whole script. So I don't actually know when it's supposed to be out, because I think initially. Oh no! Wait, here we go. I've scrolled down. It's okay.
Keep scrolling.
Halloween Ends is currently set.
What are the lottery numbers next week?
October 2022. So next year.
Okay, that sounds good. So I'm still quite excited to see that.
I'm glad it's done well money wise, and like it's one of those things. I think films like this coming out in October, it's a no-brainer because you go as part of the season almost. And I'm surprised that there aren't more horror things in the cinema right now. I know you had your Scream anniversary, Ben, and
Yeah.
I know there's a Venom at the cinema right now, an actual Venom, not just an alien that looks like a Venom.
I want to go see that actually.
Yeah, I fancy seeing a Venom.
I listened to Mark Commode's reviews of both of these films, Halloween Kills and Venom, and he had a lot more positive things to say about Venom. So, yeah. But basically, on Halloween Ends, I'm going to read this quote out simply because we can hopefully it will allow us to understand Halloween Kills a bit better, possibly. So David Gordon Green says, like any trilogy, you want it to have a beginning, middle, and an end. We had a concept of the ending, and 2 years ago, we wrote the first draft of it. So we had it all mapped out before we went into production on Kills. We knew where it was going, and we wanted Kills to be a symphony in the middle of the book of the Strode saga.
What does that mean?
It's just saying words.
It's just pretty language, isn't it?
But obviously, yes, we are going to spoil this whole film throughout. So if you haven't seen Halloween Kills yet, then go and see it. But the symphony in the middle book of the Strode saga, bloody Laurie Strode was in hospital the old time.
Yeah.
Nothing symphonic about that. Yeah. But that's that. And then earlier today, I saw that Rob Zombie shared his first look at the Munsters with Herman, Grandpa, and Lily Munster. And they've officially been cast. I don't think we knew who was going to be who.
Oh, we knew one of them was going to be cast.
Obviously, we knew Sherry Moon was going to be, what's her name?
I don't know.
Lily Munster.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? Herman, Lily, Grandpa.
Was the Munsters like I don't remember it at all. Was it not a UK thing, really? Was it more of a US thing?
It's American. It used to be on when I was a kid. Obviously, it was already an old program when I was a kid. It was being rerun on something, but the Black and White Munsters used to be on.
Black and White Munsters was in the 60s, wasn't it? It only ran for 2 seasons. So just 2 series.
It feels like it was on forever. And then they did something called The Munsters Today, obviously still in the past. Then that's when it was colored. It was colorized.
Yeah. So we've got Jeff Daniel Phillips playing Herman Munster, not Jeff Daniels. And Daniel Roebuck, Grandpa Munster. Jeff Daniel Phillips, I recognize. I think he's in other Rob Zombie things. But Daniel Roebuck, I think I've just seen him as like a minor sort of character in other films, but I don't recognize him as a lead role in anything.
I'm still not entirely clear.
Yeah.
Is the Munsters, the Rob Zombie, the Munsters, is it a nice or is it a horrid?
It looks like a nice.
It looks like a nice, but you never know with old Rob, do you? But they're making it in, I think it's in Hungary. They're filming it at the moment. So there we go.
There you go. I mean, I'm interested enough to catch up with. Catch up with more at very least.
Yeah, of course. And I think any new Rob Zombie project has always got my attention a little bit. So there we go.
Yeah.
That's that. One interesting thing that I did this week, I went to the Fear Scream Park, which is at Avon Valley Adventure Park, which is really close to me. It's like
the pumpkin patch.
It is at the pumpkin patch. It's the same place as the pumpkin patch.
You get a pumpkin and you can have a bit of a scare.
Exactly, but not at the same time. Pumpkins in the day, scares at night. So I've never really been to many of these horror experiences. I went to like the Resident Evil, when Resident Evil 2 came out, like the remake, there was like a sort of scare event in London that I went to. So that was kind of the first thing. And I think as you mentioned before, Andy, I've been to Fort Park and possibly just gone on a Walking Dead room. But I'll
tell you some more about Thorpe Park after you told us about your experience this year.
Okay. But I think I am somewhat of a skeptic when it comes to these things because I, as a horror movie fan and a fan of the horror genre, I enjoy my scares usually sat in the warm, a nice comfortable chair, my favorite beverage, something like that. So when the scares are happening literally right in your face, because obviously that is if you're not familiar with these sort of events, you essentially go into a maze-like area. There are actors hired to play various ghoulies and ghosts and goblins, and scare the living crap out of you. It's like an assault of the senses, essentially. So yeah, I'm usually a bit of a skeptic, but I did have fun with this. So there's 5 intense sort of like scare mazes, all different themed. There's one called Anarchy Live, which is kind of like cannibals. One guy had a chainsaw. It didn't have a chain on it though, because I think I would have been a bit scared.
Health and safety.
Health and safety gone mad. X4, which is sort of like a military alien complex where a bit like Area 51, I guess. House of Clowns. Not sure if you can imagine what that's like. Just a load of
So
clowns,
bloody Downing Street, is it? Bloody House of Commons, is it?
Hey,
got him.
You go in and you say, order, and then they got him. What else? Oh, yeah, Vita Nova, which is
It's like an ice cream, is it?
It's
like a failed PlayStation experiment handheld.
It's a lovely ice cream. Delicious. They give you a delicious ice cream and say, you like this, do you? Walk around this maze. It's a nice experience.
And they tell you how much it costs. 20. What?
No, for God's sake. And then you walk in and it's like it's your bank balance all on the walls. You're, fuck, no. Terrifying. It's not like that. It's kind of like a proper, this is like an assault on the senses. Like there's mirrors, like there's fog, there's loads of stuff. You don't know what the hell's happening. There's crawl spaces in the complete dark. And yeah, there was one bit where I was walking through and there was like mannequins. And I just knew one of those mannequins was not going to be a mannequin, was it? And it wasn't. There was like a dude right at the end. And I think he was the dude. He was the dude. I was like, oh, that guy's a mannequin. And he wasn't. And he's, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of people shouting in your face, which like it is scary. No matter how many times someone shouts in your face when you don't expect it, you will always kind of react in the same possible way.
Especially in this day and age.
Oh,
you're shouting in your face. Got a mask on, have you?
Got a mask on, have you? Oh no, you just got your face paint. That's fine. That's all right. And there is a new maze called Malefica, which is like the nun come to life, but lots of nuns everywhere. Nuns. Yeah, that was pretty scary. I went with Laura, who was on the show for the Rocky Horror Picture Show episode. Her and a friend dressed as the Grady twins. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a good, fun event. It's sort of like a festival style atmosphere. There's like street performance, fire, dancers, loads of stuff, street food, music, rides, and also go and be scared a few times. If you've just eaten, like me, I had a lovely bit of like loaded chips with all the meats and the cheeses on. Do that. Your belly's full, and then go straight into a place where someone's screaming at you. I mean, luckily, I remained in control.
Don't want to be scared on a full tongue. Jeez.
What? Oh God, you never guess what? Yeah, it's both ends.
That sounds fun. Nice. Is it still running right up to Halloween, Ben?
It's running right up to Halloween, yeah. So I think they've sold out of maybe weekend tickets. But at the moment, you can still go. You've got to be over. I think you got to be over 12 to go in the mazes. But people under the age of 16, kids under the age of 16, should be accompanied by an adult. But yeah, the standard tickets I think gives you access to each of the mazes once. It was one of those things I didn't know whether I want to experience it again because it was pretty intense. But also, I kind of knew where they were all coming from for the second time, so I could have karate chopped them all.
You could go around a second time, like Bill Murray in like Groundhog Day. Just be like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah. To be fair though, I was trying to normalize it, and it was obviously my way of coping. Is that when someone screamed at me, rather than being like screaming back or trying to show fear, I tried to normalize it, like, oh right, yeah, oh we've all been there, oh yeah, it's bloody foggy there, it's boiling, you got how many layers you got on, like, so just trying my best.
I'd be interested to know how you scream. Like, are you quite a high pitched squeaker?
A bit like that, I think.
Okay.
No,
I
don't know.
That's quite
I was
good.
losing my voice a bit from
scream.
I don't know, I think it is just
you
bastard.
There
were people in there.
Hey, you
fucker. Get away. Hey, you bastard. There were people in there where I was like, why are you here? Because it looks like you'd rather be dead.
Oh, you mean
you'd rather be dead. No, like people who were in there as a paying customer who were so terrified screaming.
They make it better though, because
cowering.
they make me jump more, because then they like shriek and jump back.
Yeah.
They're not predictable.
If you're like of a disposition where you might be a bit scared, I don't know where you'd be there if you were, but you can take like a sort of glow stick, and it supposedly stops people from trying to scare you more. But I saw like the sort of the performers like messing with the people who had them even more, like trying to take them off them.
Maybe they've got the wrong color. Maybe they've got a scare me more glow stick.
Scare me more glow stick, yeah. But,
yeah, I've been to a couple. There's one that's not far from you now, Luke. I'm not sure if it's running this year. There was one that I've not been to, but Karen and my sister went. It's like the Scare Farm. It's in Burton-on-Trent. They really rated that one really well. It was about 3-4 years ago they went now, but it was
quite a big deal, isn't it?
Apparently it was incredible. And there was one bit where it was like I think it was like a Titanic scene or something like ancient, and then the lights all went off. And then when the lights came back on, there were like ghosty people standing like literally right in front. And they obviously had night vision to get to where you were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But apparently it was really, really scary. Some of those ones were. The ones I've been to are the Thorpe Park ones. And like you were saying, Ben, some of the ones that like you go through, it's the other people that kind of make it. And there are some bits with the people that are really scared in there. And then it goes the other way as well. There's one that was like a sawmill. And there was this kid that was being like chopsy, tiny little kid there. And he was like, and it's like, oh, like Eric comes in, he goes, good evening. Oh no, this guy came in this sawmill bit. And this guy, one of the actors comes in, he goes, hello everyone. And everyone said hello. And this one kid went, goodbye. And he was like, who said goodbye? And this kid was like, it was you, wasn't it? Right. You crawled, and he opened this gate and he made this kid crawl into this thing. And he had to crawl through. Whereas the rest of us went through a door into this sawmill thing, and he crawled through this little thing, and he was like, "Who said goodbye?" Son of a bitch! And he sent him in, crawled through this thing. And my mate Gareth was with us as well. He goes, "Oh, I don't like the look of you, mate. You go through the crawling thing." So he just basically, that kid singled himself out, but then a couple of people got sent to crawl through this thing. So Gareth was behind him, and he was crawling up, and this kid
still
just
crawling
stopped.
today.
And he stopped, and he was like, "You're gonna have to go past me, mate. I can't go on."
Really?
Oh shit!
What was so scary about it?
Sawed himself.
People were like banging on the walls and stuff as you're crawling through the thing. Obviously, claustrophobia is just a thing people get. So that was it. But it's just fun. People jump out and run around you. I think it's one of those things like the anticipation that someone's going to jump out and scare you is scarier than what they do. Because obviously, with a completely cold and sensible head on, no one's going to chop you up and kill you. It's fine. Yeah, it's just people are going to make you jump.
I get that thought in my head. I think zombies scare me the most, and luckily none of these mazes had zombies, because I always have this silly little thought in your head. It's similar to the thought like when you're a kid and you're in a swimming pool and you think a great white shark is going to be in there with you for some reason. Basically, I have this thought. I always have that one. I have this thought that like somehow there is a zombie and it's got in there, and I don't know how or why, but it's in here and it's with the others. It's not attacking the other people because it thinks that they're zombies as well because they're acting like zombies. But as soon as it sees you, it's going to grab you and rip your throat out. And
it's going to get you.
It's that tiny little thought just in my head when every time a zombie's there, I'm like, don't you dare come closer.
Don't you dare be a real zombie.
Yeah, the biggest anxiety I get in these is, again, it's the other side of other people. When you've got someone, you can hear them in the queue and someone's like, oh, if only from come near a bloody lamper, mate, bloody lamper, knock him out. I'm like, oh no, I'm near you. You're the worst guy. I fucking hate you.
Knock him out, I ain't afraid knock him out. I'll knock him out.
If you knock someone out, I'm
going to touch me. Are you going to touch me?
I'm going to have to fill in paperwork. I'll probably be asked to witness something.
Did you witness it?
The horror of admin's going to come on my way. Please just fall down the stairs or something, you idiot. Like that's a terrifying aspect that comes through.
Yeah, we've all been there.
But
that is
horror mazes, pretty fun.
Horror again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I've been doing all the October themed horror Halloween bits and bobs. Probably the most I've ever done ever. So I highly recommend it because it has properly got me in the mood.
I like a Halloween theme park.
You can't see my background, but we've got so much Halloween themed decorations going on as well. So
that's cool.
I'm well into it. well into it right now.
I need to get more into that. I don't really decorate and stuff. It's just
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
why
not-
I've just never been into
it's
it.
not something I've done all that much, and I guess it's because I've got a young daughter as well, where like she is bang into it. Do you know what I mean? She loves all that stuff. So
Yeah.
Kids love a decoration.
if she wasn't around, I won't bother.
Just sit in a completely plain white room, beige carpet.
room,
Yeah.
beige room, beige
Silence.
carpet. I have
Beige
actually got
clothes.
beige clothes, beige hopes and dreams, beige
Just
all
eating
over.
gruel.
Just eating gruel and sometimes treat myself to a bit of gravel just to mix it up.
Yeah, but you got kids, so
Bit of texture.
you've got to put an effort in.
Yeah. Apart from that, all that stuff, has anybody seen anything this week that's worth mentioning?
Well, I think me and Andy have watched these TV shows. I don't know if everyone has. There'll be spoilers ahead, I'm afraid.
Yeah, spoilers for everything, guys. Get ready to be spoiled.
Squid
Jesus.
Game, we finished that,
Yeah.
which was fantastic. Very, very
So
well.
good.
I think we talked about it
So
last week,
good.
actually, didn't we?
We mentioned it briefly. I'm not sure if I'd finished it or not. Had you not finished it, Ben? So we didn't talk details.
Yeah, I finished it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can fully spoil it then. Do you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I possibly found the end. I was wanting a bit more from the ending. I think I wasn't
Mhm.
particularly happy with
red hair.
reveals
Yeah.
or
What's he done that
the
for?
red. I was fuming about the red hair. I wasn't particularly happy with. Yeah, I was a bit like, I wanted a bit more of a reveal. Like, oh, now it makes sense. It was kind of a bit like, yeah. But
Yeah.
apart from that, really good. And I think the final game as well was great. Well, the final two games are great.
The kind of the best friend guy becoming more and more of a villain throughout was actually kind of great. I thought
Really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Breaking Bad style transformation. No,
when
probably
he
not.
pushed that
but-
guy over. Me and Kat looked at each other like, oh, it's on.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
he's gone all the way bad now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Also, obviously we're spoiling things. I absolutely hated the American or all of the rich guys in the masks.
Yeah.
Don't know what was-
the worst.
Don't know what was going on there, but they were all terrible. And I was just like, really, these idiots are behind it all? For God's sake.
I guess like it's the other ones behind it all. They're just the horrible rich people that pay to go
Yeah.
and watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's obvious. Yeah, of course. But I just feel like as soon as they were in it, it kind of took away all of the tension from the games. Like every time it kept cutting back to them and seeing their reactions,
So get him off.
Mhm.
I was like, bit annoying. And
I've overall, I thought it was great. I do agree. I don't think it was the best TV show ever. Like you see people tweet, just seen episode 5 and I can't even, and then the next tweet just is like a hand pointed that says this,
I tell you,
this, and then someone else is
Yeah.
like, also I can't even.
me
And-
watching episode 5. To be fair, the marbles episode was
Oh, that was
I-
brutal.
I had a
Yeah.
lump in
So
my throat
sad.
Yeah,
more
same,
than once.
same.
Because
Yeah.
imagine that you get picked and you're like, okay, well, obviously I'm going to choose my best mate to do this one with.
Ali, when Ali,
Ali.
realizes. Well, let's be fair.
To be
That
fair,
was very
what was
dumb.
he? Well,
What
to be
was he
fair,
doing?
what was he even doing? Go around and have a look at the ages
No, I
of all the
wouldn't-
people.
Obviously, trying to steal your marbles, mate.
Wouldn't trust that guy. Oh, poor Ali. That's what made me think. Oh man, you're
Not
the
just-
worst now.
Not just
Yeah.
Ali, but the girl as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really emotional. Really, really good. I will say, also, we watched Midnight Mass, and I think it was better. I think Midnight Mass is one of the best TV shows I've seen in years.
I've
Oh,
still got. I
Jesus.
can't talk about the end yet. I fell off it while I was watching Squid Games because we watched just one and ended up having to do it all. So I've still got 2 midnight masses to go.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
It's like so this is by far, I think, the best Mike Flanagan TV show that he's done so far. I actually think it's probably the best thing I've seen of his. Like even better than Doctor Sleep, and I really love that.
What-
Even better than Gerald's Games. But
I know pretty much nothing about it.
yeah, well, that's the good way to go because I didn't really know what the whole thing was. I'll tell you, it's like the very best Stephen King adaptation, but it's not based on a Stephen King book. Like it just takes the things that are so good about those older Stephen King novels, like the introduction to the town, the location, the really interesting, unique characters and the quirks of them all, and it introduces this kind of seedy evil that kind of slowly reveals itself and envelops the town. And the performances are amazing. The only thing is, so a lot of people have said like the monologues, like there's so many monologues, they go on for ages and ages, and they do for the most part, but they are really good and really engrossing. But there's a couple of times where I was like, it pulled me out, and I could just imagine, you know, when you're at a play or a theatre and they're acting, and then a spotlight will go over someone, and they'll turn to look at the audience and go, "That reminds me of the time my brother and I." Like they go into like a monologue.
Yeah.
There's a couple times I'm like that. I go, that isn't how people talk. They wouldn't just babble on about
the one
that long.
The one that got me was the one where they talk about the two characters that are in it talk about what they think happens when you die. I was like, that one's a little bit much for me. But like by and large, it's really well done.
You've only got 2 episodes to go, so there's one bit I think around that time I can't remember, but I was like, that's like a magical cinema moment. Like it was. No,
I can't. I'm looking forward to finish it. We'll finish it before.
I'm assuming there is a supernatural element to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's really good. Yeah.
As somebody, I really didn't get on with Bly Manor. Do you still recommend I watch it?
Complete opposite.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's complete opposite. Bly Manor, I agree. I found it quite tiring. Whereas this, like, although it has the long monologues, I never found myself bored. I think it's like the mystery is really engrossing and quite interesting and pulls you through.
The characters are really engaging as well. There is one character, Ben, who you'll think, absolute piece of shit. I hope you eat it quite soon.
Yeah.
But you know, the other thing as well, like going into this, I am watching it. There, one of the major characters. I'm going to be careful to not spoil anything. One of the major characters is a priest, and not having. We went to church when I was a kid, but I've never been particularly religious, so I'm not really into it. And especially as an adult, it's one of the things that I understand that a lot of people are, and like it's fine, but I can't really engage with it that much. Like it just doesn't do much for me. But hearing the priest character when he's speaking, and the way he gets the crowd going, you can totally see why it's such a big part of so many people's lives and why people get a lot of like energy and belief in those things, because he delivers it so well, and you can see the effect on that crowd that he has when he's talking. He's like, he's a really great speaker. I mean, if I was graduating and I wanted someone to go and do the goodbye speech at uni, this is your guy.
I got one more question, and obviously you may not want to answer it, but this might be the decision maker for me, because I do want to watch it. But is it ghosts?
That is spoilery, I think.
Okay.
I'd just say it's not Flanagan's usual thing.
I just want to know, because I quite liked The Haunting of Hill House, but I wasn't perfect. And Bly Manor, I feel like it's probably the only series I've watched all of and not enjoyed it for a long time. So
I wouldn't say it's like either of those things. The things that are going on it's not the same as that. It's not Bly Manor or Hill House with a different skin on it. It's something very different and of itself.
Great music as well. Like really good music.
Yeah, and visually as well. There are so many stunning bits in it.
Yeah, there's one bit I want to talk to you about, Andy. That after I watched, I was like, that was like amazing. Like, I don't know, just really got to me. You know, and the thing is, when you watch that, and then you watch Halloween Kills, like Midnight Mass seems so consciously put together and crafted. Like every element seems so perfectly slotted into place to make the story and the TV show what it is for 8 hours. I think it's 7 hours. Sorry. Whereas Halloween Kills, which we'll get into, does not feel that way at all.
Anything else at all that you guys have?
I think that's it. I think I mainly just did TV shows this past week.
Both same.
Really good. Both really good.
TV shows. Started watching something we're going to do for a special episode later, but other than that, I finished What If as well, which is not horror related. There was a zombies episode of that, which was fine.
I liked What If. The last
I did. Really I really liked how it all tied together at the end. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll watch another season of that if they want to animate one.
Yeah. Get him, but Yeah, all I've really seen, obviously, I watched Squid Game. I went to a 25th anniversary screening of Scream. Did I mention that last episode? No, I think it was just.
I think it
before
was
went
coming
to
up.
It
Yeah.
was coming up. Yeah, that was great. That was good fun. I think it's pushed it to. I think I've always thought of it as like an 8 out of 10 horror movie. I think finally seeing it on the big screens maybe pushed it to a 9 out of 10 for me.
Do you feel like some of these films, like you rewatch them and they get better every time? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like The Thing, when we rewatched The Thing last year, maybe it's this year. Like I just find like it just gets better and better every single time.
Yeah, I think the
thing's always always improves time and time. And I think Scream's the same as that. Are you now pumped for 5 Cream then?
I'm pumped for 5 Cream. I'd like to receive 5 Cream immediately. I have to wait a few months to. We all scream for 5 Cream. And then I've also, in preparation of this week's episode, I watched a couple of Halloweenies that I've not seenies before.
Which ones have you ticked off your list, Ben?
4 and 5. So it's 4, 5, and 6. I think that was it. I think I've seen them. Wow. I think I've seen the rest. So, but now I've seen 4.
It's 4, 5, and 6. Then it's H2O. Then it's Busta Rhymes versus Mike Myers.
Mikey. Yeah. And as I discussed before, I think we should possibly do an episode or a bonus episode where we rank the Halloween franchise. I think that would be good fun because I quite liked Halloween 4. I mean, I didn't love it, but I thought it was not terrible. For everything I've heard about like 4, 5, and 6, which is essentially that they get gradually worse, which I guess is kind of right. But the mask is a bit naff. It looks a bit like a big floaty plastic bag on his head. It just looks a bit wrong. The second act of 4 is a bit of a snooze fest, but the final sort of final act, and Paul Rudd's in the 6th one. He's in the 6th, yeah. The final sting, I believe, in Halloween 4 is really effective, and I think
the little girl.
Little girl. I think it sets up a sequel idea that the franchise just obviously never allowed to pay off, which is
the Blarney Stone stuff.
What's
like some Irish mythology stuff.
I think that's 6, isn't it? Is that the curse of Michael Myers?
That's 6 when they go,
where he kisses the Blarney Stone, and that's how he gets better.
He's been getting controlled by a cult this whole time. And doesn't Paul Rudd make a circle of stones and it like stops him being evil?
But aren't they do some of that stuff in number 3 as well, right? There's like a cult of
in number 5
Blarney Stone. I can't remember. I need to watch them all.
I think they introduce it, but in number 5 they introduce a man, like a man in the shadows with like spurs on his shoes, who's obviously involved in the cult somehow. But yeah, number 5. I must say, the actress who plays the little girl, Danielle Harris, is amazing. Like one of the best child actors in like a slasher movie ever. Like you genuinely believe that she's like running for her life. But Halloween 5 just runs out of ideas. And you know, when there's like a guy who decides, I'm going to be Michael Myers for Halloween. I'm going to dress as Michael Myers. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but do you know the fake out scare? Oh, it was me all along. Does it about 6 times, and I was fuming by the second. I am again.
Stop it! Go home.
And it's got a really, really extensive sex scene where I was literally like this. Wrap it up then, lads. Jesus Christ.
Is this when your partner walks in? What are you watching?
What are you watching? It's
Mike
porn,
Myers.
right? It's just porn. For God's sake. Admit it. Yeah, but that's it. And I didn't manage to squeeze in 6 before Halloween Kills, but I think I am gonna still.
I'll tell you what, I'll go back as well, and I might even go back to the origins, the beginning. I've seen a lot of them, so I can have them on in the background while I'm doing other stuff. Blitz through, and then we'll do a ranking list, pop pickers.
Did you rewatch the 2018 one before watching this one?
Nah.
Oh, see, I did think about watching the 2018 one, but I was like, I'll be all right. I remember what happens. And then a lot of times in Halloween Kills, I was like, oh God, what happened?
Yeah.
Who's alive? Who's dead?
Yeah. Like it's like takes place like immediately after. It's interesting. Yeah.
What a long night.
They've done that a lot, haven't they? So Halloween, the original Halloween into Halloween 2 is like that. Halloween 4 I mean, it pretty much goes into 5, but then we do get a year later thing. Is that it?
Yeah, they make up for it by jumping 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it is a long night, and you'd be like, I'm absolutely knackered.
Especially, like, so, you know, if you look at 1 to 2, so, and it all wrapped up and she'd gone to hospital by 9:30. So, yeah, thank goodness that's all done.
Yeah.
Gets dark early in Halloween, October.
Yeah. Bloody hell. It's all happening, isn't it?
But yeah, this is the time, right? Halloween Kills, film of the week.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills. So finally, this was obviously delayed by a whole year because of because of Michael Myers. He's been on the rampage. Everyone had to stay in their houses and wear masks just so he couldn't get you. But yeah, so this is finally out. Halloween Kills is a 2021 American slasher film directed by David Gordon Green. The film is a direct sequel to 2018's Halloween and the 12th installment in the Halloween franchise. 12, Jesus. Film stars Jamie Lee Curtis, James Jude Courtney, Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, Judy Greer, Will Patton. I'm going to read everyone out. That's silly, isn't it? So the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode continues in the next thrilling chapter of that. Wait, that's not a synopsis. That's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
What's all that about? So the film begins precisely when the last film ended. Strode and her family continuing to fend off Myers, this time with the help of the Haddonfield community.
Nice. So IMDb has it at 6.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes critics score is 40%, and the audience score is 71%. And Letterboxd has it at an average of 2.8 out of 5. The Rotten Tomatoes critics consensus is Halloween Kills should satisfy fans in search of brute slasher thrills, but in terms of advancing the franchise, it's a bit less than the sum of its body parts. I had a quick look around at some of the Letterboxd reviews, see what people were feeling about it. Real M Myers 78, but fucking loved everything about it. The ending was goated. IDC shit hot. Me hyped for Halloween ends. Michael still getting it. Fire symbol, handshake symbol, fire symbol. Oh, 5 stars. Yeah, they liked it. IDC shit hot. Me hyped.
Oh man, me hyped. Is it Grimlock that's writing this? Jeez.
And then Fet VG put very specific lack of charisma in the entire casting. Very specific lack of charisma. Direction of photography, unexpected zooms. One of the scenes completely stolen from Lord of the Rings. I don't know what scene that was. Also,
that's the one where the big fire demon comes and Michael Myers fights it as he's falling through oblivion.
You fools!
Oh, the Balrog bit.
Yeah.
Also, one of the main characters is called Karen. I don't know what that has to do with it. Even murder scenes are not convincing. Special mention for the armpit fatality moment. Very bad movie. Useless. Half star.
Useless. I was with you until you gave it a bad mark for, having someone called Karen in it, mate. So that's my wife's name. So you're entitled to your opinion, but also fuck you. So...
This was Fet VG, so you can go and follow them.
Have you seen the most popular review on Letterboxd?
Go on.
Out of all of them. Disappointing. Michael Myers does not say groovy or do I make you horny, baby? Not even once. And I'm assuming Luke's had the same miscommunication. That's why his background is.
It's the best joke about Halloween, the movies. The best joke you can do about it.
Have you heard, do you know in Baby Driver when they wear Austin Powers masks, Myers masks, and they say, "Oh, you idiot! You're supposed to get Mike Myers masks." I've heard that like the Halloween movie franchise or whatever, wherever the studio is behind it, like blocked it from happening. That's why they made that joke.
They were all going to get like Michael Myers masks.
Yeah, and that's what I read anyway. I read that the other day. I don't know. I think it might have just been a tweet, so you never know, do you?
I like it when
it's wild because
when films do stuff like that, like they take the plans don't come together and you have to kind of twist or change things.
Oh, do you remember the Leprechaun? And they were going to have Lucky Charms in it, and then they wouldn't let them do it, so they had a parody of Lucky Charms, and he ate some, and then was like, "Fuck's this disgusting cereal."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's better than the Fu Manchus, right?
Oh, the Fu Manchus. I wish someone had give those guys a license and to offer a less racist cereal.
Yeah. Well,
So this one.
this film is interesting. Anthony Michael Hall. Oh, Anthony Michael Hall is an older Tommy Doyle. He was the guy. He's a strange guy. He was like in Weird Science and a lot of those
Breakfast
kind of
Club as well, wasn't
Breakfast Club. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see him. There's lots of interesting people in this film. Lots of people from the original Halloween, the earlier Halloween movies.
Lots of like
coming back.
super minor characters that they've gone. This character was in Haddonfield all those years ago. Well, now he's grown up.
Yeah.
No one's moved away. Don't worry.
No one's moved away. Yeah, it was a bit like nonsensical. You know, like how after, sorry to mention her name, but J.K. Rowling, after she obviously wrote Harry Potter, she started adding all these little bits of mythology, like going, oh, did you know after all that
yeah.
I was about to say Gandalf then, what's his name?
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. You know that Dumbledore, after all this, he was glucose intolerance. Did you know that? No, you didn't. You're not a true fan.
I know.
If
you
he
mean.
has
like
if he has non-GI pasta, he's bloated for days, mate. He's bloated for days.
It's
It
like they've
felt like
taken
that, where
every
it
little
even-
bit. Oh look, there's this picture of this. This brick was in the original movie. This has got to have some kind of lore around it. This brick is making
Michael
a comeback.
Myers touched this brick, okay, and now the brick
No,
is
it's
evil. The brick is evil.
And if that brick kills
Yeah.
you, your soul goes into it. Like
Yeah.
what's the name? Sword from Suicide Squad.
And then we're gonna build a house full of haunted bricks. And
Wolf
Michael
comes,
Myers
can't
will
blow
live there.
that down. Can't blow it down at all.
It was like that, though, wasn't it? It was like it even showed you like the 1978 original to show you who these people were supposed to be, because obviously no one was gonna know apart from
Yeah.
those
super
three
fans.
people with telegraphs, they know.
When I was in the cinema and it did the first flashback to the '78 film, I was like, I hope these people, because they're just like I don't know, 18-year-old kids on dates and stuff with their partners with like a giant sized Coke splashing about on the lap.
In it.
I was like, I hope they've seen the first one or even know what's going on. And then it started talking about stuff from, because it immediately follows on from Halloween from 2018. There's like, well, I hope they know why that guy is dressed as a skirt and stuff. Like, there's so many things. And I was like, this film, you need to have done your homework to come
Did
and
you
watch
turn
it.
around to the projectionist and go, stop a minute, stop. Now, guys, turn around and turn the chair around like Captain America, sat down and goes, now, the important thing for you to understand here.
Yeah. I don't.
Do you know what really did frustrate me about that then is the fact that the 2018 Halloween was supposed to like veto pretty much all of the sequels apart from 1 and 2. So to make this timeline of it more straightforward and the mythology of it more straightforward. And it seemed like by the time this film rolls around, they've gone, actually, we've kind of forgotten that we even decided that we wanted to make it more simple, and we're going to make it unnecessarily complicated for anyone who, and really, let's be entirely, totally honest. If Loomis is dead, we only care about Laurie Strode and Michael Myers.
Yeah.
We don't care about anyone else. So what is the point? Even the Strode family, you know, I mean, I know they've got their jobs to do in the first film, in the 2018 film, sorry, and in this film, but really when it comes to the crunch, we do just want to see Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And you know, Laurie Strode spends the majority of this film, all of this film in one single room.
I guess with this one as well, like I think these guys are trimming the timelines off, like the bloody Kang the Conqueror there. But like, in many ways, I feel like if you do one of these films, you maybe it's a harsh rule, but the law should be that you have to reboot it entirely and you can't have any of your back stuff, or you have to have all of it, every single one. You've got to have all of them in there.
Yeah. What I will say is that the 78 stuff looks really good. Like, they've recreated that.
Was that
Loomis,
just
a
look-alike?
guy. It was. So I read about it. So it wasn't CGI. It was a guy on the production team who just kind of looked like Loomis, and they were like,
on the production team as well.
yeah. They were like, we'll get him in some makeup and it'll be. I mean, I don't think they needed to put him in, to be honest. Like, I don't think they need to do a lot of what they did in this film. But
I just think it's not one of those franchises that relies too heavily on mythology and lore. It really doesn't, does it? So why did it feel the need to rely heavily on it? Like, it's not all this iconic stuff and these iconic characters and this these rules.
In many ways, it revels on having no lore in particular. Michael Myers was just this kid. He killed his sister at that time, and then he went to prison forever and was a bad one. Like that's the thing, right? There isn't an explanation.
And nobody really knows why. Nobody knows why. He's just, and that's the thing, the pure evil thing.
The amount of people banging on about that. Like the amount of people, every single person out of town is like going on about how he's not human. He's evil. He's evil incarnate. He's not like we could kill him. We can't kill him or anything. Everyone is kind of bigging him up to be this kind of the boogeyman's going to kill us or come for us or whatever. I'm like, not everyone would be like that. Most 99% of people would be like, it's just a guy,
just a bloke.
Let's just get him. But everyone's like, oh, evil incarnate.
You guys also bothered about it. Why didn't you also go and protest with Laurie Strode that time he was being moved and not executed that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all just were like, this was like yesterday. None of you were bothered.
And if you think he's evil incarnate, when another person who's escaped from the mental institution, just a tubby little bald man with a skullet, rolls into the hospital. That's got to be him.
That man who clearly is him. We're like, oh, we've never seen his face though. But you've seen that he's taller than that though, guys.
You've seen that he's taller than that, not just like a little little rat man.
And also, you know what, Michael Myers, typically, the bit of the clue that you'll get, that if you see a Michael Myers, no matter how he's dressed, and if you've only ever seen him on Zoom calls, so you're not sure how tall he is, usually, when you see a Michael Myers, he'll be trying to kill you.
Yeah, not running away.
Not at the door of the hospital going, oh, help us.
He's never ever ran away. He's never ran away ever, has he? Even with like a mob, even with 20 fire men ready to slice him up.
Yeah,
he didn't run away.
See, Michael Myers, and we'll talk this when we go into the scenes. Unfortunately, for all the protagonists and the side characters that fill up the body count here, Michael Myers, obviously, while he's in prison, has mastered the Arkham games series of combat. So he sees the counter button flash. And when all those people, be they firefighters or be they a vigilante, like lynch mob coming after him, they attack him Assassin's Creed style. They attack him one by one, and they sit there doing like their idle animation until it's their turn to attack. And then that counter button comes up, he presses Y, and he gets to counter them every time. He's got like
he even
a chain
works on like 60. A gun. Someone's about to shoot with a gun, and he like counters with a door.
Yeah, dismantles it
with a door. That was good. The door counter was good. I enjoyed that.
It was good. I think the saving grace for this film is that the kills are pretty splendid. I thought so, like quite fun and gross and very, very violent. Some people say that doesn't fit the Halloween vibe. It's more of a Friday the 13th thing. But I'm just saying the plot wasn't doing it for me. The acting or the editing, I'm not too sure what it was. There's something really off about the performances. But the kills were like keeping me going. And Big John and Little John.
I liked those. I liked those too. I'll give you most of those adjectives on the kills, Luke. They're certainly brutal. I think they are fun to varying degrees. Yeah. But there are some of them, I said it to you before we started, there are some of them that we cover that maybe it's because we just watched the Nightmare on Elm Street movie and those are in my head where they are very playful in the way they do things. A man did get horseplayed to death in that film last week. But there are a couple of these.
I think I know which ones we mean.
Particularly the one with the two older people.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
they didn't die straight away. That's not right. They didn't die straight away.
They didn't die straight away, and it's just a big joyless dirge of stabbing an old woman with a fluorescent tube, and I'm like,
there's a few.
This is fun.
I think you can almost like put the Michael Myers victims into certain categories. So there's someone who's like gives the audience a laugh, and Michael Myers walks into frame, and you go, oh shit, it's Michael. He's a big motherfucker. Sort of like a jokey kill, like where they still die, but you know they kind of have a bit of a laugh with. they cause a few laughs before. There's that. There's like the seemingly completely innocent and unnecessary kill. You know, where someone's just, oh, don't kill that. Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And then killing someone who's trying to fight back. That's kind of like the free sort of
In this
categories.
one, he kills a lot of people, like in the way, like if I give my dog like a bit of rope or like a bit of food on a string or something, she'll like whack it around for ages,
Yeah,
like
like a
thrashing it.
shark.
Yeah,
Like
like
a
a shark. Yeah, so he does that. Like he bashes people around, in banisters and walls and stuff.
But the thing
Um,
is, with the sorry, go on, Luke.
That's what I was going to say. I agree, Andy. Like some of the kills, especially the woman who he puts the light in her, like he's
That's
like,
that's the one for me. I was sat there
it's like
for
putting a
just
needle
like,
in blue tack. Like just goes
yeah.
straight in.
I was just like, no, is this fun anymore?
And then he just
Yeah.
starts stabbing the dead body or the dying body of the dad, using him as like a knife board.
Was it like he was trying to work out which knife was the best for stabbing? That's what I kind of thought.
I don't know. I don't know his motives.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
You don't know his motives. The makers of this film don't know his motives either.
I don't
know
mind
what to
that
do.
so much though, because I think that's quite a scary thing about Michael Myers is that you don't know why does he make jack-o'-lanterns out of people's heads? Why did he bring that gravestone all the way from the grave to that bedroom?
But
Where did he learn to drive?
Yeah, I've always said that because I think he starts driving in. Is it 4? When does he drive for the first time?
Number one.
One,
When he
of
escapes.
Oh yeah, of course. Jesus.
He does a little drive-by of them with the Halloween music.
But I think this film doesn't know what it doesn't know how to give Michael Myers any form of motive. So like, oh, he's going to kill Laurie. He wants to kill his family member and just end it like that. Oh no, he's a mindless killing machine, just walks around killing whoever. Oh no, he just wants to go home. He's the boogeyman. He's the shape. He's evil, pure evil incarnate. I just feel like, yeah, but what's he up to? Just I feel like because we don't know that, and the characters, the so-called protagonists, are sort of floundering around trying to work out where he's going, what he's doing, all this stuff. It's really hard in terms of, to have like in terms of like an anchor in the narrative for you to like really hold on to and go towards.
I think that you might be on something there. It's like, who is the protagonist and what's their agency in the film? I guess it's maybe the granddaughter, but I don't think so. Because
she's not in it as much either. Like,
no. So I enjoyed 2018, and I'll go back and listen to the podcast. Can't remember what I rated it, but I enjoyed it because it did feel like we knew who the protagonist was. We understood her as a character. We knew what her needs and her wants were, and look how prepared she is. She's been preparing herself for decades.
Yeah.
Finally, like we're gonna get something. But this one, it just felt like Michael was kind of wandering around aimlessly, like he was, you know, when you played Grand Theft Auto and you're not doing missions and you're just wandering
on a rampage.
You're just going on a rampage, running around, breaking into different houses, cars, upgrading stuff, just doing a load of mad
exactly
shit.
What it is. It's just he's just gone and he probably has got the cheats on based on some of the things that happen because his level of strength is inconsistent. Maybe this is why the episode is always the boogeyman, which explains why sometimes he has like he's got health, he's got regenerating health. You can his clothes are invincible. There's no model for the clothes that would have imagined they're damaged by the fire.
Surely his mask. I would have liked. You know what I would have really liked, and it was something I kind of thought of. But at the end of the last movie, his mask till it be like melted and stuck to his face. Can't take his face off now.
Well,
his mask off.
Well, yeah, that'd be good. That you've got the picture of behind you. I think his face does get a bit half burned in the fire. It looks like a s'more.
Yeah,
it's been cooked. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks delicious. It
does look delicious. Yeah,
it's got a nice char to it. Yeah,
a bit of a chewy and soft in the middle there.
You got a little cracker to dip in there, a little digestive biscuit. Yum.
Yeah, the music's great as well. We'll say. I mean, it's exactly what you would expect from the first one. What I was going to say
it's John Carpenter's son as well who's involved in the.
They're all of them.
All
the carpenters.
I listened to there was like a listening party like the day before the movie came out on YouTube, and I listened to that, and it was delightful.
It's as good, if not. I think it's on par with the 2018 one. What I will say is the 2018 one was a solid little movie that told a complete story, told a generational story, kind of finished the Laurie Strode handing down or whatever. Like it was really like solid. although I like that there's more Halloween movies, this doesn't. They should have found a way to make it more necessary. It doesn't feel like it's
Yeah.
necessary at all.
It
Also,
feels like
as a
sorry,
story.
Ben, you go.
Oh, sorry.
No,
As
you
a
go.
story, I feel like what I want from Halloween Ends is exactly what happened in Halloween 2018,
Yeah,
which
Yeah.
is it's a generational story. They all united to finally beat Michael, and it happened to be Laurie who'd prepared for so long, even though her daughter was like, "Oh, leave it out, will you?" even though she was doing that, and finally they beat him, and they beat him in a way which made sense. All of these traps which he wouldn't have anticipated, and now he's on fire, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm kind of with you guys. Like, I agree with what Luke said here. Like, I'm glad there's more Halloween coming out, but what we got with this one, I feel it almost makes the last film, which I liked a lot because of this generational story, it makes it weaker as a result, because it wasn't the finality that we could have got and the wrapping up of that story. I think if there wasn't money and ambition involved, you could have ended the series with that film, Halloween 2018, could have been Halloween Ends. And as Ben talked about earlier in the other films, I feel like you could have done something in the same way as Halloween 4, because that granddaughter was holding that knife pretty tight in that last scene. I thought you could have done something with her off the back of it. And again, we're making suggestions when we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Maybe the plan for Halloween Ends is fantastic, and then maybe this is a bit of greed in the fact that no one does a double film unless it's one film that was too long, so you split it into two. You do a trilogy.
Really,
so maybe you would have done better with that, but you could have done something a little different with this, I guess, because
really
I
did
don't
feel
feel
like
it doesn't
a
do
middle-
much.
It felt like a middle film of a trilogy, didn't it? More like anything else. When a film comes out and it already knows, it's got one eye on the final movie in the trilogy, so it's like, okay, we got to kind of get there and then it'll be good. It kind of felt like that, and it's like, well, no, we kind of just want this film to exist for a reason.
Yeah.
And also, by the time you get I know Michael Myers has pretty much always been like this, but as soon as you get your antagonist and he is literally unstoppable, there's no way of stopping him. Like, but people keep trying over and over and over and over again. It's like, do we have to like veer away from that? Like, right, we definitely can't stop him, and we know we can't stop him. So what do we do?
There are ways that you can do things though that I think wouldn't be as jarring as what we get here. I don't want to go into it because I know we usually go through these things normally, but it just feels at a certain point where he doesn't die and he comes back just because, like, he's got like the Scott Pilgrim extra life, so he just gets to have another go. Like, you can't definitively have definitely beaten him, and then what he needed was a bit of a rest.
Yeah, just got his breath back. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much goes down the route of the supernatural at the end, right? Like, there can't be any. 100%
there can't
supernatural.
be, and 100% supernatural, but also like even with supernatural antagonists, there has to be a way to somehow win. Maybe not kill them, but somehow win. I know it's usually lock him up, but it just feels like everyone goes, "Oh, bloody hell, he can't win. He's evil incarnate. He's
Michael Myers' weakness
up forever
is jail. Like, oh, fucking hell, I'm weak against jail. Stuck in here for a bit now.
Jail was super effective.
Can he get out?
Yeah.
But yeah, where do we start with this one?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it starts with the fire truck, right? That's like
they're coming away, and we have the scene in the bar. The other way, it flips between the two, right? Because the firemen aren't killed in the opening scene, I guess.
No.
Problem with being back at the cinema, you can't take notes like when you watch.
I think what happens initially is that Deputy Frank Hawkins, who was stabbed by the psychiatrist, he's found by Cameron, who is the boyfriend of the granddaughter.
Before we don't forget, Ben, I don't want us to erase this as well, who was a cheating, borderline abusive boyfriend in the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
I quite like that. because I thought like in the Halloween 2018, I thought his story was done, and I thought it was that's a random little side story. I didn't quite like that, but I quite liked that there was more to it. But yeah,
I think I needed a reminder that they were dressed as Bonnie and Clyde, because I was a bit like, wait, what? What's happening here? Was he dressed like that in the last film? Don't remember. And then like a little while after, I went, oh yeah, they were dressed as Bonnie, a gender reverse Bonnie and Clyde. I get it now. I needed that more than I needed any other flashback in this movie.
Yeah. So he's walking along, and you're right. He finds the deputy who got stabbed by Bad Loomis. So he got stabbed by Loomis with his biro in the last one.
Loomis.
He got stabbed. Yeah, he got bicked by Loomis because he was going to kill Michael Myers back then. And he finds him, and he's not dead. We thought he was dead, but he's not. He's just poorly.
Poorly is like, oh, he's got like a little got a bad belly or a bit of a headache. He's
a bit poorly, are you?
Pissing blood out of his neck. And then this is the first instance, like pretty much straight away, where people are just saying things, you know. So I know he's not talking about Michael as such, but he's like, or is he talking about Michael? I guess
he's got to die.
He needs to die. He's got to die. Like people just saying shit like that in this film, left, right, and center. We're like,
so why is it? Are you talking about? He goes, Myers, then as a flashback, 1974, and it shows what the deputy was doing.
Yeah. So I think it looks like the 1978 movie, doesn't it? It
recaptures that look really nicely. I would like to see a full film shot like that. It looks really nice.
Yeah, and obviously there's a few police officers, including Frank Hawkins when he was younger, but also Jim Cummins.
Jim Cummins, his partner. I was really glad to see Jim Cummins in this. He's great.
Yeah, really I've not seen the Wolf of Snow.
Oh, it's so good. Jim Cummins off the back of that is so good.
Yeah, I mean he is just Jim Cummins in this movie as he was in in the other movies, but still, it's always a good time.
He makes the. I feel like this thing goes on a bit too long. They're walking and talking for ages, aren't they? And they meet some kids. Oh, there's Lonnie is the kid who meets. Maybe that's revealed later on. I don't know, but it's still on this timeline.
Yeah.
Lonnie is outside the Myers house thing, and Michael walks into him but doesn't do anything. Just walks away or disappears.
The way to stop him killing you is to basically go into the fetus position.
Yeah.
Spoil yourself, and then Michael.
I'm guessing he's got no.
Get out.
He's got that mask on. Not the greatest peripheral vision. Probably can't see anything that's like directly by his feet.
Yeah, and he never looks down. If he looks down, the eye holes will go over his eyes.
So when Lonnie's on the floor, going, "Oh, please help us! Don't!" He's like, "Who said that?
Who said that?"
That's why he wanders off.
That's why he never kills kids. Does he kill kids? Because he's trying to kill He's trying to kill a kid in 4 and 5, like constantly.
I don't know. Well, he just can't see them. Doesn't know they exist. So he's they go. Hawkins and Jim Cummins go into Michael Myers' house, and Jim Cummins makes the fatal mistake of standing at Michael's favorite foot grooves that he's made over the years from standing in that spot.
His favorite spot.
And the whole thing is, we don't know if he's looking out at something or if he's just staring at his own reflection. But this is like the first thrashing of the night or of the movie, where Michael grabs him and he's like slapping him around for like at least 20 minutes.
Michael, don't play with your food.
It's like goes so far as to say he's slapping him silly. So he's got some rope. He's slapping Jim Cummins around, and Deputy Hawkins comes in. He has to think about it. Obviously, this is 1970, so there's no time crisis right now for him to practice doing the shoot the guy that's holding a hostage. There's not even a virtua cop he can be having to go on.
Yeah, but he doesn't even need to aim. Like, he hasn't got a gun or anything. Just walk up to him, shoot him in the head.
Just go around.
Take two steps to the right or left, and have a better shot like that. But he shoots his partner, like in the neck? Or
gets him in the neck. And Michael Myers then just walks off. He doesn't like jump out the window.
Yeah, just casually walks off. Oh yeah, and he's getting shot at as he's walking away.
Yeah,
he's keeping it cool. it's no biggie for him.
Yeah, he just goes, and then Loomis comes back in. Although he's been captured at this point, he's outside the house captured. We see in a later flashback.
What moment was this was this moment even in the 78 film? Like, not this exact moment, but something similar.
It's made me think. I can't even remember how the first one ends.
He goes out the window and he disappears.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe it's at number 2 when he gets captured, or maybe that's rewritten. I'd have to go back because it's been a hot minute.
But Loomis is at the bottom of the stairs.
Has Michael killed a gun?
And he grasses him up. He goes, "Yeah, killed my partner. He did, dickhead. Shot him with
Michael
my
Myers
gun."
Is down there going, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it, mate."
Still got the kid's voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, he's not spoken since he was 10.
Yeah,
that's why he doesn't talk. He's like, "Oh, my voice doesn't break.
My voice is ridiculous."
I can't talk. No, to be scared of me if I come up to him like that.
That's why he's so angry, stabbing everyone because he's got a silly voice.
Little bloody Mighty Myers, that's me. That's what they call us.
He talks like Oliver Twist.
Please, sir.
Can I have some more victims?
No, Michael.
Ow! What do you reckon? Right. This is what I was thinking. If Michael Myers was just stood in a room like that, and you just kept feeding him people. Hundreds and hundreds of people.
Is it everyone stabbed?
Would he just kill?
Yeah,
kill.
be like, you know, in The Simpsons when Homer goes to hell and he eats all the donuts.
Eats all the donuts.
Yeah.
Donuts in the world.
This is torture.
Wait till he gets fed up. Maybe that's the therapy that Loomis never tried.
He's literally on a mountain of bodies and he's just going like that. Give me some more. Come on. I'm still come on.
But does he not like get tired?
Get bored. You get bored.
Need a rest. Yeah.
Don't get tired. He don't sleep, does he? He doesn't sleep, but is it true that maybe he fathers a child in 6?
So he does sleep with people.
Is that after he's kissed the Blarney Stone though? Gets the gift of the gab.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like, you'd be like going, right, I'm gonna make love to you now. I can't help but stab.
Oh, that's it. That's why the Blarney Stone. That'll allow him to talk again. It's all making sense. You fixed it, Luke.
Hello.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that. But the guy does stitch him up for that murder. The only one that definitely wasn't him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll wrap up this part from this timeline because it is sort of we do come back to it later, but I guess
it keeps egging it on, doesn't it? I mean,
it comes back a few times.
Yeah, just give it us in one go. I think we come back to this timeline 3 times just to reveal more of the story, and I think it's just there to kind of add emphasis and add drama to Hawkins. I'm guessing Hawkins is going to be one of the big good guys in the 3rd film. But they're trying to because there was quite an emotional beat. Jim Cummings is dying. And he says, "Tell me we got him. We got him, didn't we?" And then Hawkins is like, "Yeah." So he's lied to 2 people within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and shot somebody.
Compulsive liar.
I got him.
Compulsive liar, murderer.
Yeah, I got him.
He's pure evil. That guy. He's evil incarnate.
You see, that would have been interesting. Imagine that if Michael Myers hadn't killed anyone.
Yeah,
and that's why he was
accidentally shooting other people back.
Just trying to clear his name all this time.
Yeah,
just to see, it's a proper Tucker and Dale versus Evil incident.
Please come here. Let's tell you how I'm innocent. What?
How do you plead? Not guilty. What?
He's a ventriloquist.
Not guilty. If you're not guilty, I'll let you go. I've got no evidence, if I'm honest. If you say that you're not guilty, I'll let you go now, Michael. Guilty, I guess.
And like, what's his name? Orville the Duck. Is that his name? It's a bit like, there's a Friday the 13th, isn't there? Where it wasn't even Jason. It was just some other.
Yeah, just a fella, and it wasn't grown up Corey Feldman either. It was just a guy.
Jesus Christ.
It's 4.
Peas and rice.
Peas and rice. That's just ridiculous. That's like just sorry, we've made this Spider-Man movie. Turns out it wasn't Peter Parker at all. It was Paul.
Ben Reilly. That'd be fine. I'd watch a Scarlet Spider movie.
Yeah, there we go.
That was there was the other Friday the 13th where it wasn't Jason but his brain, and it was going into people's mouths and making.
Oh, that's when he was a buttworm.
Yeah. I always saw him as like a Kang, not Kang. What was the bad guy?
Krang.
Yeah, a bit like Krang.
In a little.
You should have given me a little robot suit to get in. Yeah.
That's the next one.
Michael hasn't got this though, but yeah, the final bit of the flashback. So he's arrested and someone's going to execute him back of the head, and then
Well, it's Loomis, isn't it? Loomis is going to execute him.
and Hawkins comes and pulls his arm out the way. I was watching it with Karen. She pointed out that's really dangerous because if that gun had come, he would have shot someone else.
Yeah.
Also, surely
he stops him.
You've just met Michael Myers, and you're like, no, save him, let him live. Dr. Loomis has been around him for years. Just let him finish him off.
Oh, this has got to be, it's bloody justice, mate. And then his supervisor says, tell you what, take this gun. Don't make a big deal of it. Just give us the gun. And, his gun, Jim Cummins' gun went off on his own. He killed himself. So, so he's kind of saved him.
And then he gets arrested.
Bother.
The chief gets arrested. So everyone's getting just don't go around Hawkins.
Did you do it, did you? No. It was that's his
origin story.
that's his kind of origin story, and that's why he is dead keen on killing Michael Myers. And then we have to open mic night. That's also a thing that's going on, which is where we meet all of these characters that gather together on Halloween in a local bar and loudly drink champagne to piss off those two people that are on the night off from the hospital.
On a night off from a hospital, dressed as a doctor and a nurse.
Yeah.
But it's the Bonnie and Clyde thing as well, Ben. They've subverted expectations because the nurse is dressed as a doctor and the doctor is dressed as a nurse.
I like that Tommy Doyle gets up and does that really funny stand-up comedy routine.
yeah, everyone loves that.
He was meant to do bird calls, wasn't he? He goes, he's an excellent bird caller. But tonight, actually, I'm here to remind you the fact
I wanted more. I wanted
most people died. This is going to be depressing, but I want you to hear it.
Do a blue tip. Do a blue tip. Do a blue tip. Do a blue tip. Fucking hell.
But he doesn't do any blue tips. He doesn't do a single bird call.
Yeah.
So there's like a load of other characters who have like had some sort of brush with Michael Myers in the most vague possible way. How did they even all come together? I suppose there's like a AA, but for Michael Myers.
There's one little boy who's like, I was going to buy a William Shatner mask, and then the last one in the shop had been bloody nicked.
He's got to die. I found a haunted brick outside of the...
He's got to be killed. Everyone just wants him dead.
You know that one? You know that kid in the first one that's carrying a pumpkin and Michael Myers steps out and scares him?
He's after revenge.
Yeah, I bet he got done by his mum. When he got home, he dropped that pumpkin. I told you to carry it home. He smacked him.
Everyone speaks like that.
Anyone who's a kid in the 1970s has the same.
That
voice.
kid, that guy in hospital is wearing like a cat suit. Did you see him? That's the kid who got his Halloween jack-o'-lantern smushed.
Yeah. So these people have all got it out for Michael Myers, but they're here to celebrate the fact that they didn't die. But just to remind you, Michael Myers was being moved to a different hospital yesterday in the timeline of the film, and only Laurie Strode has bothered about it. These people who have an annual get-together.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're planning our piss up. We can't come along.
I've never invited Laurie Strode. She's like, I'm preparing for if he ever comes out. Oh, we're just going to organise a weird thing once a year where we ruin the talent show.
So it was like one of them was like the kid who used to get babysat by one of Michael Myers' victims, right?
Yeah.
One of them was like someone who worked at the mental institute who he attacked before he escaped the van. Then it was like the kid who like kind of saw him and shit himself. Who else?
The nurse that got spooked that time when he was on the roof of the car.
Is the other one? She was one of the girls that was being looked after.
Yeah,
being babysat in the first
one.
Yeah.
So they've all got like a really sort of, I mean, some of them have got more connection to it than others, but it's a bit vague. There's bound to be like a intruder in that group, isn't there? Like someone who, I saw Michael Myers. Whoa, I was like, whoa, and he was like, whoa, and we ran into each other. But me and him, we had a bit of a laugh and a giggle. But I find it was a murderer, so I'll come along to this.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies when? Tonight.
Evil dies tonight. He's all right though. Nah, Evil dies tonight.
Oh, a lot of people will say he's evil, but personally, having met him, I've never had a problem with him.
Yeah,
yeah, that's how you do. I know he's murdered a lot of people, right? But he never murdered me. So deep down, I think
he's done all right by me. In fact, actually, he took the haunted brick that had been cursed in my house for years, moved it somewhere else. So
somewhere else. Cheers, Mike.
When did he first start saying "Evil dies tonight"?
They come up with the speech later on when they're about to kill. It's after they've seen the man at the bar and realize he's escaped. But I think at this point, and we've done it slightly out of sequence because we extended the flashback bit. This is where Mike Myers first uses his Arkham combat to get all those firemen, because the fire people are going to go and they're going to put the fire out, as is their wont. And I don't understand why they're going to the house though, because surely they would know that all of the people. Do they know Michael Myers is in there, or they go? Surely you would just sit there and put the fire out from outside. You wouldn't send firemen into a burning building if you didn't think anyone was in there.
That is a good point.
They thought there was a cat in there, a kitten, a gecko, a little gecko. They were like, "Has it got to save the gecko?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so Michael. So I guess at this point, what's annoying is at the end of 2018 movie, everyone thought he's definitely dead. There's no way out. He's going to burn alive. Turns out he went into like a little gun cupboard with a little shot.
That gun cupboard is.
Well, that's why they locked him in. They locked him in the basement and put the bars down, and then they were like, "Yeah, see you later, burn up, mate."
Wouldn't
so
it get
he's in there.
Super hot anyway, though? Like,
the smoke could get him.
Yeah. He'd be dead. He would definitely be dead.
His lungs are supernaturally evil as well, apparently.
Yeah.
I think
even the smoke can get stabbed by him.
The moment where the police, the fire engines drive past and all the Strode family are in the back of that truck, and Jamie Lee Curtis screams, "Let him burn." That was in the trailer, yeah. But I think that's effective. I was like,
that note that she hits. She sustains that note throughout the entire film. She screams constantly.
Let him burn.
Yeah.
Laurie Strode fronting a black metal band.
It'd almost be as well, and I know the fire makes things very exciting. It's like the end of the Jungle Book, but no, like, like in many ways, it would feel almost a little more earned and a little less ridiculous had they gone and they'd put the fire out and he'd somehow like hidden in the ashes and he came out and got them all there. But no, they get him in the fire. One of the firemen that goes into the house for reasons known only to them, the floor breaks and he falls through. Mike Myers is in there and he's got what's he bash him with?
Like a fireman's crowbar.
Yeah. Fireman, have you got any crowbars? No. Fireman's crowbars, got loads, yeah.
But we get a lot of angle, like fireman's point of view shots.
Yeah.
Where they're just getting
smashing the goggles in.
Yeah. One guy
his goggles, and then someone else like puts his hand down and goes, "Oh, give us your hand, mate," and he does, but he pulls him down instead. The worst type of person to try and help it. He comes and tries to just pull him down instead.
Too heavy. Bloody hell, Jesus. What have you been eating? Does Michael eat?
He eats that dog in the first one. There's a and they see it in this one. They say he's been
the dead dog,
catching dogs and
eating them
to make it. Is it proper Michael Myers? I'm going to say proper edgelord, isn't he? Or I eat dogs, me.
Yeah.
Or eat dogs, me. Or kill.
Oh, I have a shark, me. Evil. Been evil since I was 10.
There's a cool bit where he comes from the flaming house, and like the house is kind of bursting behind him.
Doesn't somebody say, "Who's that?"
Yeah, and then they squirt him with the hose pipe.
Oh yeah.
Get him.
Oh, and then obviously they've got really poor water pressure there because like it's just like it's like your garden hose.
Get him, nipple twister.
You get the sprinklers out.
And they all get their different weapons. Like one of the guys gets an axe, one of them fires up an angle grinder. And I feel like the Mortal Kombat test your mic music could come on.
How does the angle grinder fight fires? Does that saw him in half?
Just cutting people. They love cutting people out of stuff. The fire brigade, don't they? Even if they don't need to.
No,
I'm all right.
What's the thing called? Jaws of Life. That's it.
The Jaws of Life.
I can get out this car. It's fine. Nah. We're gonna cut you out. No, I can climb out. Look, I can cut you out.
Get back in there.
I've just snapped the tiny bit of my number plate. The rest of my car's fine. No, cutting you out.
Already cut him out. Yeah.
They go and they he's being. They all prepare their weapons to fight. But unfortunately, they don't just dogpile him and beat him. Again, this is where he uses his Arkham combat skills, because they just attack him one at a time.
Yeah.
And he counters all of them. His button presses are on point. All that time Michael Myers is in prison, he was just doing quick time events.
You get a superb kill streak going on as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't even
Drop
take
the
any
tactical
injuries
nuke.
at all. He gets one guy in the face. He kind of impales one guy, shoves him into the air with like supernatural strength. It's quite fun. And then the other guy, he gets the angle grinder. And I bet this guy didn't even see it coming. Reverses it.
Yeah.
Oh. He reverses it. He
saws his noggin off.
Yeah. And he's got him. And then the police will arrive there later to go,
bloody hell.
Probably should. Ben, you should play one of these characters.
Probably should let him burn.
Oh.
Bloody hell.
Probably should have radioed through and said to the firemen, be real careful. Maybe don't put that fire out too quickly because they've trapped a murderer in there.
Yeah. Not just any murderer, a supernatural killing machine who will use any tool that you have against you in your death. So just be careful.
Yeah. If he does come out, if you must insist on putting it out and he comes out, please all do attack him together. Don't do it one at a time.
What does he look like? A small dipped in hair.
Well, a bit even more burnt than usual, this guy.
Yeah. But but they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. So he's free and he's out and he's on his rampage again. Meanwhile, Laurie goes to hospital and has surgery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we get like a weirdly invasive scene. I mean, you don't need to see a guts
open surgery.
Yeah.
Just confirm that she's real.
The doctor says, I think just to put us, the audience, at ease, there'll be no lasting damage. Just have a very painful stomach lining. Very, very poorly tummy.
She's poorly. We've checked that she's not a robot by opening her up. Sew her back up.
Put her in that poorly aisle where they're going to put Hawkins later because he's also poorly.
Yeah, put her in the poorly room. Although very interesting hospital. They've got the poorly aisle. They've got the endless elevators. They've got the really rude staff that will push you over on the stairs, and they've got their open plan morgue. With like just the glass, the glass windows.
Just gonna have a look at dead bodies if you want.
That's normally where you put the babies, isn't it? Like where you want to see the babies.
Someone's mixed it up. The babies are in the little drawers. All the babies are in the drawers underground. Wait, hang on a minute. Where's all the babies? The what? Where's all the babies?
I put them in. I put them in room B. Room B for bodies. That's B for babies. Oh no!
Bloody hell! Just shove them all into one of those drawers, all of them. Get in.
Can's like crushing against his side. Get that in.
Stop whining.
Oh no, it's like when you're in the kitchen sometimes, something's gone behind the back drawer. Like, oh no. You have to lift the drawer out to get what's fallen behind.
Just leave it. Just leave it. I like to set traps, so like leave it for someone else to open. So you close it and you go and you hear like go glung, 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 and you go, oh shit. I'll leave it for someone else. And then I hear someone else go, oh for fuck's sake, and I go, oh, what are you doing in there?
What have you noticed down the back of the drawers? Have you one of them babies?
Keep it down.
Yeah. So the babies are in there. The bodies, we see one of the bodies is. I can't remember the guy's name. He was dressed as a Dracula.
He was dressed as a devil. He was dressed as Richard from that episode of Bottom.
Yeah.
I think rewatching the 28 version probably would have been a good idea because I genuinely did forget like much of
Who's
what
that
happened.
guy
I don't know
much in on that fence.
It's the boy. It's the boyfriend's mate, isn't it?
bit.
Because doesn't he see him? Doesn't the boyfriend see him? He's like, that's my mate.
I don't think he does anything.
Tries to call him, didn't he? Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
So just goes core. He's been got, but
So the daughter and the granddaughter come over, and I think they're all kind of just making sure she's okay or whatever. At the same time, Tommy Doyle is giving his speech over at the Haddonfield Working Men's Club, and then outside that's when Michael's sitting in the car playing with the radio.
That's not Michael, though, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So what? Does it just
You've fallen into the same trap of the cast of this movie that you've mistaken, and who is
Evil Dies Tonight. That's all I can
Michael
think.
Myers.
When someone
Evil
mentions it.
Dies Tonight.
Yeah.
Don't care who it is.
This guy is like Evil Cries Tonight, just crying to himself in little holes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not Michael Myers. Does everyone in the bar as well see on the news as well that there's been a load of murders?
I think that's why they go home, because they're like, oh, that's that kid from the first film.
Oh, I liked him. I'm glad that he's fine. I wish he'd been in the other one. Shut up, Dave, from the first one.
Yeah.
He was like, she was my greatest, best ever babysitter. Now she's dead.
Yeah, I love that kid. I hope he's the one that finishes him off in Halloween Ends.
He's going to be the next Michael Myers. He's going to take the mantle.
As Tommy Doyle, that would be good. I would enjoy that. Has Tommy Doyle got a weird borderline sexual relationship with a baseball bat in this movie?
He rubs it a lot.
Caressing it, rubbing it, swing it like.
It's probably just got a really nice finish on it. It looks nicely varnished.
Yeah.
It's like, that is a nice finish.
Baseball bats, I always feel like that'd be my weapon of choice, because they're really satisfying to swing.
Yeah.
I feel like an aluminium baseball bat's better though, because it's a great noise.
Well,
it's a nice ting, but I bet it wouldn't come as shock because it's surely lighter.
Yeah, cricket bats I feel like are pretty lame as a weapon. I know in Shaun of the Dead it's that's kind of the joke, is using a cricket bat, but it just doesn't seem to have the same kind of swing to it. It seems more awkward to.
Yeah.
I
mean, surely for us, a country that doesn't play baseball is the only reason we sell baseball bats, for bashing people.
That's the only reason I've been thinking about getting one and keeping it in the house, just in
case you need to bash
you
anybody.
could get a rounder's bat, a little stubby rounder's bat, you know.
Yeah, if you've got a narrow corridor in your house, you've got nice little better cudgel.
My dad keeps like a lead bar.
Leather bar.
Keeps an entire leather bar. It's actually the one from Nightmare on Elm Street too. He keeps it under.
Make sure you teach them, catch you in there. He'll make you run laps. We have a crowbar, but it's not for bashing people, and it's in the garage. But I use that for crowing. If I ever got to crow anything, then that's that. But
it could be.
But if I had to get a bashing weapon, then that's my one of choice. But I'd have to get it from the garage where the tools live. It's not like under my pillow or anything.
Take this leather bar. Supposed to wear it, is it?
Take this leather bar. How much for a drink? Jeez.
So
how much for a drink? I ain't even wear leather. I wear my jammies.
For you, mate, free.
I quite like the Doctor and the Nurse characters. They're quite sweet, quite funny. They're buying everyone drinks and stuff, and then they see that the kid is on the news saying, I think he lives next door to him or something. So we're going to go home. Yeah. So they get in the car, and then the woman's like, I've seen Michael Myers in the car. It's definitely him. It's not Devin Townsend. And then
Devin Townsend.
But then I think everyone comes out. Everyone's like, let's get him. Evil Dies Tonight. They come with that catchphrase.
and then he just tries to drive off.
Yeah.
And just crashes the car immediately, unlike Michael. That's
really sorry.
Michael Myers is a great driver.
I only had 2 lessons before I went into the mental hospital, so yeah, sorry.
Weirdly, we don't hear this guy's voice. I'm pretty sure he'd sound like a child as well. Hello.
Hello, it's me, not Michael Myers. No, but
or he sounds complete opposite of Michael Myers.
Mike, and then my last name is Hull Fires.
Michael Fires. Oh no.
And he's only in.
Are you Michael Fires? What? No. Yes. I mean no. Yes. Oh.
Evil Dies Tonight. Oh no. But yeah.
Or his name's John Evil. When they're saying Evil Dies Tonight, he's like, no,
poor guy.
I also like to think that he's been put by accident in this into this like mental hospital for like a completely innocuous crime. He just like filled in a form wrong or something.
Yeah. Is there any mention of him in the first?
He's in it. I think
maybe.
I think he's on the bus.
Okay. That makes sense actually. Because he was like hiding or no, I can't remember.
They show it on the camera. They obviously show. On the news they show him, and then they obviously show Michael Myers. but just goes out of focus. Someone smeared Vaseline all over the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that we
Oh,
never
you
get
never
to see
see
him.
him.
I mean, I understand why, but it'd be very interesting if we get to see. I mean, I don't even know what the actor looks like.
You see quite a lot of him in this movie. Like if you whack the brightness up, I'm sure you probably see his face.
He looks
He did some
blind
balls.
from the little bits,
He must be.
snippets and stuff we
He's
saw.
been like poked in the eyes and stuff, all sorts.
His
Yeah,
eyes are he gets shot in the eyes. Number 2,
Shot in the eyes.
shot in the eyes,
shot right in the eyes. Yeah, he
right,
does.
in
Remember,
right up the ice.
his eyes are bleeding, aren't they? And he's doing a stupid. He's swinging. Just
Yeah. Laurie
Yeah.
gets 2 guns, puts them in both eyes.
But
if you
you just
literally Google Michael Myers' face, you'll see the guy who plays him in 2018, and this one, like
his
with
name?
his.
Halloween.
Just search Michael Myers' face. It's the first image. Obviously, if you don't,
It's just
want
the
to do that,
actor with like a brandy on a chair.
it's just the actor with like his eye all messed up. So it is how he was made
they
up
shot-
in
Oh, okay.
2018.
They shot his eyes out.
Yeah, but there's obviously you do see his face in the 1978 version as well, and I think it's Halloween. I want to say 4 or 5. You see him for a bit as well. It just looks like a normal man. Oh, you get a close up of it, like his eye crying as well, which is kind of silly.
Mm. Some of these masks they've had in the past are really not good.
No.
Okay, so what happens here? So
So obviously all of those guys. This is basically the first
Go to
instance of
hospital.
like
yeah,
the first instance of like mob mentality in this as well, where everyone's like, right, we've had enough. Haddonfield ain't standing for it anymore. All of these victims of Michael who were nowhere to be seen when we were trying to stop him getting moved, and Laurie was pretty much doing everything on her own in the last movie. But there's a whole mob of us now who are ready to fuck him up.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they've decided that, and this is we have at some point the kill, which is Laurie's neighbours, which is the one that I didn't care for as much. It didn't feel fun. It felt like,
why was she flying a drone indoors?
I do like that they give the characters, the victims,
Little
like
quirks.
a bit of personality.
Yeah, a bit of personality. Yeah, and find a drone. The guy's kind of funny to listen to. They're quite a charming older couple, and they die in
a brutal, horrible fashion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it's supposed to just say, look, Michael Myers will just kill. He doesn't. There's no motive really. He'll just kill aimlessly and kill whoever's there. It's not even whoever's in his way. He's literally like seeking out the next victim. Oh, there's ice over there. I'll go and murder everyone inside.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is scary in a way, but yeah.
He does that thing where he grabs the guy's head and he's just sort of like moving it around on the glass. I think he gets glass in his neck or something.
Yeah, he smushed him through that window, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then
do you remember
go on.
the 2018 version had such a great long shot where it followed him
through the house,
through the houses, and sort of like, oh, is he going to kill this person? No, I just felt this movie was lacking something like that. I mean, I don't want it to be recreated in any way, but I just felt like we didn't spend enough time with Michael, like just wandering about. We spent much more time just suddenly with his victims, and we know he's gonna get there, but we don't know like how he got there. I think it'd be more interesting to see him make that journey from Laurie's house to the neighbor's house and then to wherever else he went. He was kind of just teleporting to his next.
It's a bit teleporty.
It is just it is just throwing you from scene to scene.
Yeah. So he kills those 2 people pretty brutally. I think maybe at the hospital, this is where the big riot breaks out.
The riot is definitely
Brewing.
coming.
Brewing.
We've got a couple of other, like at this point, I think they know that he isn't dead. Laurie's first got out of surgery. This is where the daughter, so the granddaughter in Laurie's case, but obviously you've got the 3 generations of the family for there. So Laurie's daughter is the thing. Oh, we got him. You've got him. You got him, mate. It's fine. And then when it's apparent that they haven't got him, the granddaughter is desperate to go and join the mob to make sure he is got. Whereas the daughter is doing, well, you've got security. He's going to be coming here for Laurie Strode. So you should protect him. And more people are flooding in as these murders begin to rack up. I think this next bit now is where we get to see two of our favourites from this film, Big John and Little John, having a lovely day in Michael's old house.
Yeah,
they've renovated his house. Like
they've done such a nice job
great.
of it. It's come up nice.
Amazing. Yeah.
I bet they got it for a steal as well, being it's a murder house.
I mean, you don't recognise it, old Michael Myers, when he walks in.
Yeah.
You've really opened this entrance all up. This was quite pokey. It's wasn't much light in here, but yeah. Big John and Little John.
My favourite spot is still here, there, with my little foot indents.
Well, yeah, there's a record player next to it. So they have some trick or treaters here, just so we can get a little bit of lore. So Big John and Little John, they're having a lovely time. They got some wine, they got a cheese board out, and it's Halloween. And a little kid comes to the door and goes, she's also from the 70s. She goes, "Please, sir, one of our mates got some sweeties from your house. He's poorly. He had a razor blade in it.
Had a razor blade in it. Well, you want to be talking to the Candyman, if that's the case. Yeah. He's the one who puts razor blades in the sweets.
Go and lynch him. Go and lynch that man that wasn't the Candyman."
Go on.
They run out to see what happens, but then it's just so horrible skeleton boy can go inside the house, and he goes, "Ha ha, sucked in, dickheads, I've stolen all of your candy." And they go, "You do realise this is Mike Myers' house?"
Yeah.
And he'll fuck you up. Did you recognise the masks at this point? Was this when you
it's the Silver Shamrock ones, right?
Silver Shamrock, Halloween free masks. This was obviously a money shot in the trailer. But yeah, it was nice for them to get more than just a money shot, and it made sense for them to be. Yeah,
it was a cool little take. I liked that bit, but these kids are no good because they go, "Oh, we've stolen all these sweets." He goes, "Oh, this is Michael Myers' house. If you come in and steal sweets from houses like this without permission, then you'll be fucked up, right?" And then they run away scared.
There's a funny bit that had everyone in the cinema laughing, where Big John said, "Little Michael Myers stabbed his sister in the tit." Like everyone in the cinema was chuckling at that.
Everyone just went, "Classic Michael Myers."
Someone said tit there. That is quite a funny little joke.
Yeah. They kind of get on with. I think they just get the cheese out and watch the rest of the movie or something. I don't think anything happens to them just yet, right?
Well, we see them later. I think we've jumped over a few scenes because this is such a pace. I think we have bits and bobs at the hospital, but basically our next action beat is when we have, because the people have left the bar after Derek Evil robbed off with that car. And they've decided that Evil's going to die. I will not stand for car nicking in my town. Evil dies tonight.
They drive somewhere and they go, "Right, everybody go home, or I want some able-bodied people to come and join my vengeful mob." If that happened in real life, you'd be like, "What? Fuck off."
And the vengeful mob is in full force. And that couple, the doctor and the nurse that are about to go home, they've decided to join that vengeful mob. And they got guns. They've got their polished baseball bats. They've all got weapons, and then they see some kids hanging out at the park.
Okay, is that here?
There's a bit in between, but it's just in and out of the hospital when they gather the mob. I think this is the next lot of kills.
That makes sense. I can't remember.
So the one of the ladies who's one of the survivors of Michael Myers, she's the babysitter, the one that was being babysat. She goes over, and it's the same rotten kids, and they say, "Watch out, there's a murder about," and the kids, bloody kids, they don't take it seriously. They go, "What, you mean the spooky man over there? Hey, he's playing hide and seek with us." And she tells them to run away, and they do. And they're not seen for the rest of the movie. I assume they're fine.
Yeah.
They run off, and then they all prepare for an encounter with Michael Myers. And when I say prepare, I mean fail to prepare at all.
So Michael Myers has killed the skeleton boy, hasn't he? Because he's got his skeleton mask drenched in blood as he stood next to.
He does. He's got the skeleton boy. He was an older kid though, so it's all right that he's dead.
Yeah.
You could see him. He was tall enough so that his peripherals weren't affected.
He's not. He's in his eye line.
Yeah. So I think he gets on top of the car, And then one of the women who's got a gun is like, I know what I do. I shoot out all the windows.
Yeah, so he can
One at a
immediately
time.
reach in. You can immediately reach in and grab us.
The guy who's dressed as a doctor, who had the stethoscope, he starts trying to because the babysitter gets stabbed. He gets the stethoscope, uses it as a weapon to try and strangle Michael Myers. Michael Myers, I mean, a stethoscope, what's that? It's a bit of rubber, isn't it? So it doesn't hold him at all. He just looks at him.
He's also like kind of doing it from the side. I feel like even if he did that to me, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's a bit like that. And are you all right?
And
So he gets stabbed in the eye.
Is the stethoscope thing quite stretchy? Hang on a second. Karen?
Yeah.
Super stretchy.
Could you strangle someone with a stethoscope cable, or would it be too stretchy and soft?
No, you could definitely.
You could. It's official. You could strangle someone with a stethoscope cable, but he doesn't. He fails.
What would officially complete this bit is if Karen were to now strangle you.
Yeah.
Live in the podcast.
Hopefully she won't strangle me to prove the point.
That stethoscope gets bloody loads of screen time. Oh, I forgot on my stethoscope. Better go back to the pub to get it. Oh, for God's sake!
Chekhov's stethoscope.
Yeah,
Chekhov's
stethoscope. Well, we've had Chekhov's pitchfork just now. So if you do this again, I'll get you with this pitchfork. And it comes back.
But the stab in this guy's eye is pretty cool, and we linger on it as well, so it looks gruesome. I think this was the first genuine.
That was like, it's a fun action gasp kill. Meanwhile, and then it's followed by an absolute facepalm kill, though, because the doctor has jumped out of the car and just run away with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where she's gone to. She's gone from.
She's run around to collect ammo.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's
gone while the others get killed, because obviously we can only render Michael Myers. Mike Myers has killed these ones. We can only have him fight so many people at a time. So then she comes back and runs up to him with a gun. She's like runs at him like Steve Zissou in The Life Aquatic when they use guns. So they run over to him, and he just like kicks the door open and it pings, and she shoots herself in the head.
Yeah.
I think I literally put my head in. I was like, oh.
I think I had a little
quite liked it.
That bit.
Yeah, I did too.
I quite liked it.
Not in a bad way, but just like, oh no, fail
blog. Yeah, it'll definitely end up on there. So then he stalks the other one into the sort of woods by the rivery bit, and she manages to hide.
She attacks him first, right? Because she's got a. How was she? She got like a pillowcase full of bricks.
Oh yeah.
It's a classic pillow. So I think is it a trick or treat bag or something?
Yeah.
That she decides to just fill full of bricks. And I mean, I commend her, in this particular moment, having the wherewithal to think about doing that.
Yeah. You know what those bricks are, though, Ben? Cursed.
Cursed bricks.
So unfortunately, because the bricks are cursed and Michael Myers is evil, you or I got smashed in the face with a pillowcase full of bricks, you would at least be knocked out, if not instantly dead. Mike Myers takes a couple of them and only makes him stronger, if anything.
Yeah, just gives him power. Weird. Yeah.
Oof! Oh, that hurt, did it? No,
So he chases her through the little woods bit. So there's a bit where she's hiding down by the river. For some reason,
she hides from like a ring wraith.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Lord of the Rings bit.
I did think that. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
You're right.
Yeah. And she ducks down, and of course she's ducked down, hasn't she? No peripherals down there. Can't see him.
I just keep going, shut up.
Yeah.
She was just shut up. She's gonna find you.
Like,
is that Rolf Harris down there? I've heard about you.
Jesus Christ. She's not like muddy at any point here, but then for some reason later on when they find her, she's completely drenched in mud. Like, what has she been up to?
She's probably gone
breakdancing.
Probably can't make out that I've just hidden in this dry safe. Hang on, just smear a bit of mud on.
She's gone
was in a terrible fight. She heard
you look absolutely fine. You've been in a fight at all.
Yeah. Oh well, I've just escaped Michael Myers, and I thought I might have heard a predator, so I mudded up.
That's another thing they've started calling him in this. The apex. They start calling him like an apex predator.
Yeah, I can't remember who
He's
says
an
that.
apex. Yeah.
Hawkins,
I can't remember who
maybe.
says that either, but I swear I've not heard. anyone
People
refer
don't
to him
say
as
that generally. They don't just say that in life about anything.
He's an apex predator. He's an
He's
alpha male.
been watching the Discovery Channel this week, the Shark Week.
David Attenborough's been on doing like a Michael Myers documentary. Now, this apex predator is
Michael Myers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've got to have the
Most of them are
hospital chaos now, right?
Yeah, this must be the time for the hospital chaos because you've only got one real setup of kills left. So, what did we say his name was?
Devin Townsend or John Evil?
Derek Evil.
Derek Evil.
Johnny
He's had a few.
Derek
He's got
Evil.
a few names. He's like Michael Myers, the Shape, the Boogeyman, Michael Myers, Evil. Derek
This is the
Evil,
Nuggy
Johnny
Man.
Evil.
He's
like, let me in, I need a... Is there a toilet in there? I'm dying for a shit. Let me in!
That's how he ended up in an insane asylum when he was at school. He put his friends in headlocks and just rubbed the top of the hair. They call me the Nuggy Man.
He's given himself so many nuggies now. He's got no hair growing on the top.
He's shined it bald.
Classic skeleton.
So he turns up to the hospital poorly, and he goes, he's got up in the car crash. I've got no hair left. I feel right poorly. What's the best place for me to go? Hospital. Unfortunately, he arrives just after everyone's been whipped into a frenzy with Evil's dies tonight.
Tommy Doyle with his baseball bat loves whipping everyone into a frenzy. He's like, in 1978, Michael Myers touched me on the arse. I don't know what happened. I can't remember.
Michael Myers, like, give me a spoon. And I've had a skinful of it. And the sheriff is like, don't worry, we'll arrest him. He goes, no, sheriff, you failed. Evil dies tonight. And if anyone,
is there any way I can confirm that you're the sheriff, because you definitely look like him. Yeah,
I got this out. Yeah,
I got this out.
So they see that they see Derek Evil turn up, and it's like Derek turns up, and he's like, "Oh, can someone help us?" Oh, they go, and he's running off into the hospital. Then all chaos breaks loose. People are running over people. Doctors are tripping over him on the stairs. The mom of the boy dressed as Richard sees him in the open plan morgue and gets really upset about it. Everyone's shouting at everyone. My favourite part of the chaos of this one is how Laurie Strode's daughter manages to get ahead of everybody. Only Laurie Strode shouting like, "No, that's not what Michael Myers looks like." While everyone else is chanting "Evil dies tonight." But my favourite part, as they're running up in the crush of the stairs, is just the sheriff takes his hat off in absolutely frustration to assert his authority. What he says is, he just shouts. He just does he just has enough. Sometimes when things are really getting out of hand, what you just need is a big shout.
Yeah.
Just a giant shout. Derek Evil is innocent. I mean, I can understand what it's trying to say. I just think it's trying to say it in the most heavy-handed way possible. It's trying to say it like fear is what word am I thinking of? Contagious. Fear is contagious. Where, all it takes is some mad person a bit like The Mist with the old religious frenzy woman. She whipped loads of people into a frenzy and basically got them to do her bidding. Feels like that's what Tommy what's her name? Tommy Doyle is doing.
Tommy's got a better catchphrase than that woman in her expiation as well. He's got a "Evil dies tonight."
Evil dies tonight, and he's got a good
EDT.
Yeah, he's got it all. He's got a nice baseball bat as well. He'd be a good action figure. No, you wouldn't.
Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, but obviously, but then Laurie Strode's. What is Laurie Strode's daughter's name?
Karen Strode.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She locks him in like an airlock.
She presses the button and he flies out into space.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she really
Get away from her, you bitch! Derek is flying out.
Karen is really loose with her promises on that one, though. She's like, "Stay in here. Don't try to escape further or go to a different place. I'll lock you in this. I'll lock you in this airlock, and I promise I won't let them hurt you." And then
there's a really weird. Sorry. There's a really weird shot now, like a hero shot of Derek Evil, where he's kind of like leaning over. What's he holding in his hand? A fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And he's like holding it and looking up as if to say, "Right,
the fight's on.
I'm gonna fucking defend myself." A hero shot, but no, he doesn't use it for that.
If he had an office chair, he could have got on it and like blasted towards them.
Flying straight through. See you later.
There's they're breaking down the door. He breaks through the window, and he jumps out. It's a really sad kind of not poignant, but like just a sad, depressing moment. And then we get a shot of his brains. Ugh.
Oh, yuck.
And he's like winking and stuff. It's like a really weird like thing to add to that kind of sad moment. It's just like a crushed rotten.com body.
Why does suddenly everyone at this moment now realize
it's not him.
Oh, Michael Myers' brains are in his head.
Michael Myers is definitely no.
This is Derek Evil. This is.
This is Derek Evil, and it just looks up and there's Tommy Doyle there going.
He's poorly.
He's definitely poorly.
This doctors, this man down here is poorly.
Get him on a gurney. Bring a spoon.
He Humpty Dumpty's it.
He probably does. Yeah.
And then there are no horses.
Like as well.
Yeah, there are no horses or Kingsmen to help him. Wouldn't matter if they did, famously. But the lesson that Tommy Doyle and co learn here is really it's fleeting and then nothing. They kind of pause and go, in many ways, you've all been infected by fear and that's no good. And then the lesson I take away from is, okay, yeah, we've been infected by fear. We've driven what is this innocent man to his death.
We've become the monsters we fear.
So next time we'll make sure that it's definitely Michael Myers that we kill, and we're off immediately to kill him.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
we've killed one, we will kill again.
So I guess the other team, what's his name? Lonnie and the granddaughter and the boyfriend, who he met her at the hospital, by the way, and says, "Yeah, I know I'm cancelled, but actually all I care about now is helping you with the Michael Myers thing. And remember, your dad died in the film last time." She goes, "Oh, I'm really sad about that, so I'll forgive your absolute treachery."
Weird. They're like, where's Dad's body? Oh, yeah, he's on the floor outside the house. He got strangled to death in the first one, but don't worry about that.
Just really weird. We've barely mentioned Laurie. Like, she is such an afterthought in this movie. We must mention at one point she takes some painkillers.
So she get up after that really weird nurse who goes, "Oh, this makes the pain go away," like the way that no nurse ever talks.
And she goes, "Listen, for my mate, the police officer, give him a double dose." What? Give an overdose? Is that what you want me to do? Overdose this man.
It doesn't work like that. I didn't say, I tell you what, I'll just reduce 50% of your pain. I could,
no.
Dosing the medicine's a very delicate balance.
When Laurie injects herself, she does it so vigorously that I'm like, what the Jesus? She goes, jams it straight in her ass cheek. I'm like, first of all, you could have like broken the syringe, like snapped it off in your arse. It's going to do the same job if you just ease it in, surely, isn't it?
Yeah. So, what's happened is I've stabbed it really hard into my leg to give myself this injection. My tummy problem is fixed from the medicine, but I've got a dead leg now.
Yeah. But it was almost like I was thinking, right, so she's injected herself, so she's definitely going to get up and lead this mob to Michael. Yeah. But no.
Well, because we have to maintain that she is a goodie and can't lose, because she's the only one that's showing, "It's not Michael Myers, it's not him. It doesn't even look like that." not tall enough. What are you
He
thinking?
don't even look like he's definitely a diminutive, balding, hunched over rat man.
To be fair, they've only seen him since most of the people only saw him when he was 10. No, they didn't. They saw him when he was a fully grown, tall adult. So that
And he
excuse is out the
clearly
window.
works. He's clearly a mechanic. All right. Does this
Yeah.
guy look like he could fix your carburetor? No.
No, he looks like he's in the uniform of an insane asylum and is a tiny, tiny little wizened man.
Kind
Maybe
of like
they're like, oh, he's trying to lure you in.
Yeah.
Yeah. little know me man. But of course, there's one more series of kills to find. So the people are on the way. Karen has got a car from Tommy Dawes, learned a lesson and said, okay, I'll lend you a car and I'll come and give you a hand. Lonnie and the granddaughter and so on are looking, and they've realized they're going to Michael Myers is probably going to go to his house because he always goes home. We go there first and see our Big John and Little John finishing off their cheese board.
Again, he always goes home. But if we're supposed to think that they've vetoed all of the other sequels, this is only the second time he's going home. He always goes home. Well, he went home in 1978, and now he's going home.
He went home that one time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
he always goes home. I always go home. I go home every day. I'm literally.
to be fair, they're not wrong. Where else are you going to go?
Yeah, that's true. All right,
gone
I'll let him
bowling.
off.
In many ways, he lived in the mental asylum for longer than he lived in that house. He should. It's when you get like a cat and you move house and you have to keep him in for a couple of weeks. They associate that with home. Surely you should associate prison with home now. Go there.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
that is true. I just want to go back to prison.
His window bit to look out of.
Yeah, he wants his window bit, and this is where we also have to think. Oh, we always used to look out that window. Maybe he wasn't looking out that window. Maybe he was looking in. Should have got him a mirror.
Hit himself like a cockatiel. Yeah.
It's lonely.
Big John and Little John, we don't want them to die. They're very nice, but they realize someone's in the house, and then Big John is upstairs as well, and Big John's like, oh, okay, and he gets a cheese knife and goes upstairs to.
I got this knife, and everyone goes,
yeah.
I got this knife.
I got this better knife.
Well. Takes his shirt off as well, doesn't he?
He takes his rings off.
Yeah.
I kind of want them on.
Yeah.
I might hurt your fingers though. You don't have to go to hospital. It's busy tonight. If you get a poorly finger.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Poorly finger.
he dies kind of brutally, but I mean, I don't think I'd ever want to get stabbed in the armpit. That didn't look good at all.
You get stabbed in the armpit and then thumbs into his head. A classic thumb job in the skull job.
Cillian Murphy's in.
I feel like was 20 Days Later the first time that happened. I feel like I've seen it a lot. It was in Game of Thrones pretty much every other episode.
Everyone's getting their thumbs in the eyes. But yeah, it was, I think it's Cillian Murphy's signature move. Yeah. And everyone else has just copied it.
Yeah.
Can't remember how. Little John.
And then other John, Little John, who's a bit taller than Big John, should be an ironic name. He's obviously very sad. Big John has been killed. Michael's just having a glare out the window though, and he goes, "Oh, Michael, you've come home!" And then he just screams as Michael looms over him. Obviously, we see he's dead. He's been
off camera kill, but we see his body later. Yeah, why would you say that? Your husband has just been murdered in front of you, and you just go, "Michael, you've come home."
I mean, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't make a noise and he wouldn't bust me. But if you're gonna have the forethought to say, Michael, you've come home and something planned out,
leg out.
I'd say I'd go downstairs quietly. Obviously suffering from immense grief at the time. Not saying that
we'll just slide down the banister.
Slide down the banister. Get to the window.
Kevin McAllister on the
get to the bottom. Look outside and go, Michael, you've come home, but I've gone now. Bye. I mean, the most sensible thing in that film.
Michael, you twat.
It's weird that they call him. Everyone calls him Michael as if it's like, oh, all right, Michael.
But maybe that's why he's so angry. He hates the fact that everyone refers to him by his first name. They know him. You don't know anything about me. I prefer Mike. I prefer Mike, and I've said that once.
Yeah, I hear you, tiny voice.
I'm French. It's Michelle.
Yeah, it's
a little Frenchman.
Yeah, Michelle.
Michelle. Yes. He's always carrying those knives around because he wanted a career in catering.
Yeah.
He can flambe. What's that? That's not a knife thing, is it? That's the fire.
That's the fact. That's what he was doing in the last one.
I think it's just called cutting.
What's a good knife trick?
Julien,
that's what I was thinking.
Julien.
I've done a quality. He does a load of good stuff in the kitchen when he kills people, but you never see it.
Done this rose out of carrot. There you go.
I've done a bloody quality rose here, but he eats it because he loves it.
So yeah, big Little John gets done in. Then the others arrive. So Lonnie and the two kids arrive, and he says, "Now I'm going to go into this house alone." So I do what I'm going to go into this house alone.
That's a great idea.
You don't come in. Never ever. Don't come in. And they go, okay, we're going to come in though if you have any trouble. He goes, oh, that's all right. I'm not going to have any trouble. I'm just going to go in on my own and defeat Michael Myers.
Never at any point does anyone go into a house in this movie or into any situation and you go, oh, I wonder what's going to happen here. That never ever happens. Like, also, this guy has dispatched 20 firemen, like in quick succession, fire officers, men, and just one dad is going, I'm going to go in and I probably might win.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gone, what? I think you call him out. I wouldn't want to go into the belly of the beast.
Set some traps. Do something. Yeah. I mean, if we've beaten him before. Last time we asked him to come outside, he just waited until we hit him on the head. Like, just do that again.
That's true.
But Lonnie in particular as well. Like, obviously, he's not the alpha type that's going to defeat Michael Myers. He's no Buster Rhymes. He's not going to fly and kick him. As we saw in the 1970s, he had a
Liu Kang style.
Yeah, Lonnie, weird and scrawny. Scrawny doesn't really rhyme. Those kids are shit at rhyming.
Shit kids.
Yeah, but if his name had been, I don't know, Dansome.
I think he did try and
Dansome, cool and handsome. Great, you go and fight him.
I think he did try and do some sort of special moves because how did he end up in the loft if he wasn't in the air already? And Michael, I
reckon he knew there were some antiques up there, and he was like, "Gonna get my hands on them." Little John and Big John are dead.
Sort Michael out.
I'll go sort Michael out.
But
he's on Cash in the Attic next week.
All the gratuity of like kills for like some of them, like the incidental characters, like the old next door neighbors, and we don't see Lonnie, a character that's been in a lot, die.
Yeah.
We just
that kind of feels like it harkens back to the first one, though. I feel like there's a couple of times people are just dead.
Yeah, and the fun reveal you've got is them being revealed all scrunched up.
Yeah, like
I wonder what happened. I feel like he was in the loft, and then Michael went down here, and he put his head out, and then he just closed it on his head. That's what it looks like.
It was a spring-loaded thing, and he pulled it. So it was really tight. So let it go.
I think he tied some paint cans to strings, and as Lonnie was coming up the stairs,
that was the sound of a tool chest falling down the stairs.
Smash his face with an iron.
So, do you know what? Did you notice in the mob at the end, in a bit, a woman had an iron.
She plugged it in to get it hot.
No, well, I don't know, unless you had like a massive long extension lead.
Weird weapon.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they've gone, she's asswife, right? We've got to give her some motivation. She's an asswife. Got to have iron. Either that, and she could hit him with a washing up glove. Incredibly sexist.
The marigolds
movie.
A toilet brush.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that been?
No, that's his weakness. Oh, right, my bad eye as well.
Yeah, it's going to get septic. So the kids immediately ignore Lonnie and they go into the house. Michael Myers has put some music on.
Yeah, I can't remember what song it is.
He's put on
like
the Limp Bizkit
song.
The Limp Bizkit song, Hot Dog.
Breaks the
fucked up, bro, in a fucked up place.
Oh,
Everybody don't with a fucked up face.
But,
And then that finishes, and the B side is like
Michael Jackson.
something by the Venga Boys.
Yeah, Venga Boys is coming.
Yeah.
Barbie
He
Girl.
does his classic Michael Myers head tilt.
Man Band number 5.
Oh,
And he sings all of his victims.
He's practiced them. A
It's,
little bit of Monica.
What's it? iPhone 95 or whatever it's called.
I'm blue. Yeah.
I mean, when did he? No, 70s. He went into the thing, so he would like to be listening to
Like,
Bee Gees all the time. Nothing but Bee Gees.
Stay alive.
Stabbing till they die. Stabbing till they die.
Yeah, that's his first words, but he didn't want to do it until he's learned all the words. And then the two kids walk in, and the first thing he says in his deep voice now, he goes, "Yeah, you can tell by the way I use my walk, woman's man. No time to talk."
He mispronounced it the first time he did it as well.
Yeah, if you're like, oh no, if you'd stumbled over it like I just did, if you're like, oh no, won't speak for another 40 years.
He kind of steamrolls that kid, doesn't he? Like he bursts out of a cupboard or something.
Yeah, he sees his dad, he gets a little drip on him, and he goes, "What's this drip?" Sees his dad jacking the box into the
yeah.
It's a bit like, when you've got a sleeping bag and it comes out of the little pack that comes in, but you're damned if it's going back in.
Can't get it in. I ain't never going back in.
Also, Michael Myers is trying to, I can't
get the dad in the loft.
So he eventually just shoves him in and closes it, crams him in there. The son is done, and then he shanks the son. What is the granddaughter's name? I can't keep on the granddaughter forever. It's the pace and the lack of development in this story that we got in the first one.
It's a good question.
Alison. No.
Alison.
Yeah.
Alison. No.
Hello, Alison.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, this is the thing. Halloween 2018. I really felt the sort of the Strode women and the generational thing. I really felt that, and there was an interesting relationship. And now it just feels like they're just here. All of that work was done in that movie, and now they're just here, and they're kind of like just bobbing about, not really knowing what to do.
Is it banking on the fact? Is it assuming that we are going to, like, people are going to marathon these and watch them all in one go?
I think the way this ends, the idea is that that's like setting up for a grudge match with Laurie Strode at the end.
It feels. I know I'm not going to say what my review of this movie is, but it just feels like a bad episode in a TV show. When there's an episode where you're like, nothing really happened in that episode.
This is Daredevil, where Foggy Nelson has a chat for the entire hour about how he's pissed off that he doesn't find. I didn't mention you were Daredevil. Been shot in the head, Foggy. Been shot in the head. That's why I didn't make it to court.
A single location episode.
Yeah.
This episode takes place entirely in the kitchen, and they're trapped in there. Can't get out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Are they banking too much on us having to watch these as a trio when this is done? Because it feels like there should be something to make these characters endearing and engaging as part of this film.
It's been 3 years since the last movie. You know what I mean? It's not like it was last year, and then the next one's going to be, the next one is out next year, but you know what I mean? It's been 3 years, so.
Yeah, and I guess they can't. I don't want to rinse them for it too much. They couldn't control that it was going to be a year later than planned. That isn't their fault, but you should have something in this middle chapter that endears you to this character, because Alison in particular does very little in this,
does very little, and then is pretty much set up as not the exact finale, but pretty much right at the end.
Yeah, so she runs out, she fails to shotgun him because she makes the Michael Myers mistake of, even though you've got a gun which works from range, and
only pull the trigger.
If you're up against a Jason, I get it. Jason will throw a thing. He'll throw a thing at you. But Michael Myers doesn't do a throw, really. So if you just stayed there, you could have just blasted him from a safe range. But she walks right up to him, and he has time to biff it out of her hands.
He stops people shooting him in that way every single time. It's like people want to get right up into his face and unload in his face. And he's just like, no! I will not have that.
He knocks it out of the way. He has time to do that counter. But yeah, he gets her. She gets booted down the stairs and gets a leg poorlied. She gets the leg.
I wanted to say it.
Oh, go on. I won't say next time someone gets poorly, you can
Gets a
mention
poorly leg. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she gets a right poorly leg. She comes sharp that fall down the stairs. She's in a bit of pain, and then the boyfriend of Cam, he's in a spot of bother with those banisters.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is horrific. Like,
What is happening? Like, it looks like so I don't know, like his body is in some sort of garbage disposal and the sink, and his head's just like flying around.
Around. Maybe Mike Myers is not as impressed with the renovations that the Johns made to this house. He goes, shoddy workmanship. Look at this, it breaks.
No matter how many times I smash someone's head into it. Yeah.
Look at that. Barely stood up to a few smashes of this boy's head. And Alison shouting up the stairs saying, Michael, dickhead, come and fight me. Come and fight me, you idiot. Bloody big goon. And he's not having it. He's finishing off Cam first.
Yeah.
Very spiteful, really.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Michael, give it a rest. But to be fair, if he didn't die after getting his head smashed in 25 times, the final snap of the neck kind of just had to be done.
Could have gone. Yeah, he twists his head off almost because he was only a little bit hurt from the multiple smashes.
Yeah. So then he goes up to Alison. I think he's about to stab her.
She's like, do it, go on, do a stab. You don't need to ask. You don't need to tell Michael Myers to stab you.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Thanks.
It's my thing.
Not a performing seal, Alison.
Yeah.
Just slap my fins together. Give me a bloody fish, will you?
I don't want to do it now.
I almost don't want to do it now. And she's like, got you.
No, I'll do it.
Maybe you build it up too much.
No, I'll do it. It's a double bluff.
But then Karen jumps in, steals his hat, his mask.
She forks him up first.
She steals his hat.
She
got a little trilby on.
She leads him to this other road where there's like an ambush waiting. And there's like a big sign that says "Evil dies here tonight." And they've got like
he literally steps on a big red X. It's like a mousetrap. Little man jumps into a bathtub.
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of cool, right? I mean, there's a woman with an iron. They're all kind of bashing him in.
But here's the thing: bash him in, and then chop his head off, chop his bloody legs and arms and legs off. Don't just hit him a few times and then go, I think he's dead now.
He's defeated.
Just step back. He's defeated. Obviously, we see his face a little bit now, don't we? Like before the mask, when she let him with the mask. His face in the shadows, and I mean, just an old fella.
Poor old guy. Karen delivers the final stab into the back.
Gives him a stab in the back, and Tommy's like, "Oh, you don't have to stab him if you don't want to." No, he's put me through a lot. He's at my daughter's leg, so stab him. I guess.
Karen, you go and do what?
Killed her husband as well.
Crack on with your day. Leave this to us. We'll sort this out. And then they don't. We get a really weird sort of. It's like a raging bull, like slow motion.
It felt imaginary. I was like, is this Michael Myers imagining that he's won and he's lost? Because it was repeating the same people. Because he does slash someone who tries to shoot him earlier. Yeah, as well as he's been shot several times.
Yeah. Yes. And at the same time, Laurie and Hawkins are in hospital, kind of trying to out. I don't know. You could out. Devil speak each other. Do you know what I mean?
Metaphor each other.
They're trying to
in many ways. He's like the shadow. He's like the shadow in the night. I mean, yes. I happen to think.
In many ways, he's like the arse of the devil. Just
the
deep, dark, gaping hole of evil.
I bet they improv that bit. Right, just try and it's like a yes and game.
Trying out evil each other.
And as well as that. His evil is in many ways, people would say every time he kills people, he gets more supernatural powers. His evil isn't just the people he's killed. It is
so I mean, and also we get Tommy.
Shouldn't she say with everyone he kills, he transcends I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Tommy doesn't even get to use his bat. He's like, he's finally finished polishing it off. He's like, yeah, that's good, that. And then he goes to hit Michael. I think Michael just grabs it and then stabs him in the chest.
Yeah.
He
Even the whole film, he
gives him a smash
posturing.
with it, and it gets like a big like spray, like slow motion.
Yeah.
Spray of blood there.
He gets blue balls.
And this is it. Like I think we leaned into this enough, right? So he went from being battered by loads of people to then basically when the focus of the movie and the camera isn't on him, he gets up and then defeats roughly the same number of people, or at least like what was left of the crowd, just by getting better.
But again, one by one. Like no one seems to attack him, and there's no tag team moves.
Yeah,
there's no like no one's 3D'd
Devon.
anybody. Devon, get the iron. Clunk.
Yeah.
Like no one's grabbed him by the arms and gone, go on, punch him.
Yeah.
It feels like the whole the defeat of Michael Myers. The people of Haddonfield basically have to do the plot of a Fantastic Four movie where they all lose when they attack individually, and then someone goes, we should fight together, and then they win.
Oh, okay.
Give me all the weapons. Everyone, give me all the weapons. Hold them all. Hold all the weapons, and I'll go at him.
There's a weird bit here. So Alison, I think, is there's like ambulances around and the police around the house. Karen goes upstairs into the window, stands where Michael Myers. You should never stand there because it's his favorite spot. Like there's a nice wind chill that passes through there. Whatever. Then Michael seems to have teleported past everyone who's there.
There's an interesting moment first, and I thought, oh, this could be interesting, where she sees like young Michael Myers dressed in a clown costume in the window, doesn't she? And I was a bit like, oh, what does this mean? What could it mean?
Maybe maybe it's in your mind. The Michael Myers was the friends you made along the way.
Yeah. And then he's obviously gone around the back of the house, and old Myers, which doesn't really make sense. Or maybe he knows the secret entrance because it used to be his house.
Yeah, the back door. No one knows about this entrance. Yeah. But then so she gets stabbed kind of off. I mean, we don't see what happens exactly, but I'm pretty sure Karen's dead.
Yeah.
And then it just goes, it does that kind of smash cut to Halloween Kills. Do, 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 do. You know,
and isn't there a moment near the end where Laurie's like staring out the window as well, almost like, I know something's happened to my daughter.
There's been a terrible disturbance in the force.
There's been a terrible disturbance.
Suddenly, silence cried out. Again, I'm talking with coming up with plans for with less than a full deck here. We don't know what their plan is for Halloween Kills. And I've seen one article which felt very clickbaity, so I didn't read it. It was how the franchise is going to, Halloween Ends. How the Halloween franchise is going to continue after Halloween Ends. And I was like, but I think with this one, and again, I'm not saying this with the full knowledge of what they're doing. The final film could put all this in a great perspective and it could work again. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm coming into this one thinking, would it have been more meaningful just where the characters were in the last one? We got a bit of an arc with Karen that she remembered that her mom had made her do all that training and do these things. But in this film, if we take her arc of this film, I feel like she didn't want to be involved with hunting him down. I would have maybe not have her make that stab and then have the daughter, the youngest member, the granddaughter, killed by Michael Myers at the end here, and then have her hunt him down in the next one, maybe. But
that could have been cool. Yeah.
But in this case, it just feels like the person that really wasn't interested in hunting him down, is dead now. And the two people that were already fully in on it will now go, well, I'm doubly fully in on it now, 200%.
I know Evil didn't die tonight, but I promise Evil dies tomorrow.
I mean, Halloween Ends might well still be the same night. God knows how many hours this night has been. In real time, it should almost, if this one was running in real time, it should be daytime.
Yeah.
I just want to go to bed now. Come on.
So I've got some name game. If you're up for it, it's 10 to 11. It's getting hours are flying by.
We've roasted. Wow. We've gone through this film a lot. We've had loads of nonsense to chat.
So the first one is it's the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. It continues in this next thrilling chapter of the Halloween series But this one sees Michael and Laurie at a wine tasting event.
Halloween Swills.
Halloween Swills.
Very good.
Saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode continues in the next running chapter. It sees Michael and Laurie start a woodworking DIY project together.
Halloween
Halloween
drills.
drills.
Well done. This next one, it's just the next one in the saga, the thrilling saga. It sees Michael and Laurie decide to take a load off and relax, man.
Halloween
Halloween
chills.
chills.
These are all very easy. The saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode continues in the next running chapter of the Halloween series, which sees Michael and Laurie become part fish.
Halloween gills.
Whoa, I thought you might struggle a little bit more with that one.
No, we know all about fish over here.
That's
We're getting better as the weeks go on. We're just getting better and better.
that's all I've got. That's
It's all good. Solid.
Do a quick one for you if you like, Luke, off the cuff. I know you like. I feel bad you're not getting to play. You see. So in the next thrilling chapter of the Halloween saga, Michael and Laurie, they put their differences aside and decide to process wheat so they can make bread with it, but they've got to get the byproduct of the wheat first.
Byproduct of the wheat.
Byproduct of the wheat. Is that not
So they can do some bacon.
Halloween Mills?
Halloween Mills, correct.
Yeah. Hey.
What are they baking? Evil pies tonight.
Evil pies.
Evil pies tonight.
Very good.
Okay, so we need to rate the film.
Rate good
or rate bad. That's the options.
Oh, anybody willing to?
Yeah, I'm willing to pop in.
Oh, Luke's ready. B- all the way.
C-. And I was going to go lower. And no, actually, I did it. It's weird because when I was watching the film, I was having an okay time. It's only when I finished the film and was thinking back to the kind of the nonsensical aspects of it that I've just got a bit more and more annoyed with it. So it's slipping down. It's like something you throw at a window and it splats and it slowly gets falls down the window.
I was having a right time when I threw this at a window, but now as it's dripping down, I think, fuck you.
Now I wish I had my pizza still. I hadn't thrown it at that window.
I'll have to clean that window in a minute.
That's what Michael's looking at. He's remembering that he's thrown against the window.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to join you on a C-. I mean, I initially I was a bit. I could have gone higher. After I finished it, I was like, maybe I need some time to think about it. But in the time I've taken to digest it, I've kind of not I've not felt too like I want to be too kind to it because it does feel quite aimless, unfortunately. Michael Myers, the bits where he's on screen are great. The kills are great for the most part, and but I just think this film, it doesn't understand its antagonist or protagonists well enough to make this an interesting or definitely not a thrilling movie. And it should be thrilling, you know. I thought Halloween, the 2018 version, was thrilling. I kind of knew what I wanted to get out of it, but this one, it was a very meandering sort of film, and as I described just now, like a bad episode of a TV series, or like an event, not a very eventful episode of a TV series, where you're a bit like, well, did I just waste a couple of hours kind of watching this? So yeah, pretty disappointing. I think this was one of the films I was looking forward to the most.
Same
for the latter half of the year. So yeah, I am pretty disappointed. That being said, I will still be hyped for Halloween Ends because I'll be hoping for something else. Yeah. But yeah, C- for me, I think.
I think it's been a while since I've been the harshest, but you know, never mind. I go D because I've really been thinking about this. I'm gonna go a D because of D for the disappointment factor in this one, because you've got one of the most iconic characters in horror movies. It's perfectly competently made. I don't want the D to reflect that it's badly made. There are some great quality shots. The cinematography is great. There are some things, but it wasn't a fun watch necessarily. It was meandering, and I think it suffered from the greed of of thinking you're going to make a trilogy when it's clear, and we'll see what the evidence of that is when Halloween Ends comes out. If Halloween Ends is really as well thought as we thought, then and the director is saying, then it could be great and it could recover the franchise. And who's the real idiot? Because I'll go and see the next one. Of course I will. But I just felt like there was nothing in this story that felt necessary to tell. It didn't move anything forward. There were some set pieces, and as we said earlier, I feel it undid some of the great conclusions that the last one could have given us potentially. So yeah, I'm going to give that as a disappointment. I asked Karen off the back of it as well. Share the partner results as well here. She watches a lot of these horror movies with, and that's the worst one we've seen for a while, is what she came up with, and she doesn't buy into the nostalgia thing. But she had the same thing, like, oh, I like the Halloween movies. It's one of my favorite franchises and things we watch, and that one was a poor effort. And I went back to the last film that we didn't enjoy too much, Demonic, and I said, if you had to watch one of them again, what would you watch? Like, maybe Demonic, because like it had a core idea. It wasn't as well delivered, but the idea was a little interesting. Whereas this one felt like you could have made some different writing or delivery choices to give it more to say.
Yeah, this film does that weird thing where, I know we don't want to go on about film much anymore, but it does that thing where it doesn't really have any actual drama. So it just has people start shouting really loudly at each other to kind of pretend that it has drama, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was saying
dialogue
about the film.
Well, I think the dialogue was a really big issue, and it felt like it was more. That's the thing. I mentioned it before in this episode. We only really care about Laurie and Michael Myers. Everybody else is just fodder for Michael to. Yeah, it felt like it paid too much attention to those people that we knew were just going to die anyway. So what is the point in wasting anyone's time, making anyone? I mean, I didn't really root for any of the characters, but what is the point in wasting the film wasting its time trying to make you root for them?
Yeah,
just felt
absolute madness. Oh,
get
well,
on with it.
Better luck next year, I guess.
Better luck next year. We'll be there. We'll be reviewing it, I'm sure. So there we go.
Still love you, Michael, but must try harder.
Must try Hyder. I think in
that little cupboard with a coat hanger.
Yeah, I think. That was a good. Oh, God, keep going on this film. The Halloween 2018 had all of the parallels, the mirror things from the first one. That's just really clever. Like, it was really good. This one just didn't seem. I don't know. Anyway,
it's gone. What? We'll have an old big flashback instead.
Oh, don't worry about it. Beetlejuice next week. That went let us down.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. So yeah, this is kind of like the Halloween, the last episode of October as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you can thanks for listening. You can become a patron for early access to the episodes, bonus content, and heaps of free stuff over at patreon.com/horror hangout. Thanks to patrons Ben Scaife, Stephen Christopher, Toby Miller, Laura Kendrick. Do we have a new patron?
We do. A new patron, Pazuzu himself.
Pazuzu, welcome.
Pazuzu, welcome, and please don't hurt us.
Yeah. Thanks to Go Back to Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. Please consider rating and reviewing. Join the Facebook group Horror Hangout Above Advisors. Yeah, and thanks to my co-hosts Ben and Andy for being all right horror dudes.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
See you later.
Bye for now. Bye. Bye.